Warning. This is a show where we talk about our favorite characters in media, so this may be full of spoilers throughout the entire episode. We apologize if that's not quite your thing, but we do hope that you enjoy anyway.
Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi. We are
Hi.
here.
I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I said it quietly, so no one would know. But yeah, hi. We're here.
Hello.
As you can see, that's gonna be like so delayed, so don't worry about that. I'm actually gonna hide this like Shang-Chi here. That's actually ignore that. That's a demo. That's not.
That's not
That's our test image.
That was just a template, so I knew what we were doing. But yeah, hi. Welcome to Five Hit List. Tonight we are doing the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Our top 5 with 22 honorable mentions.
Yes. That is exactly how this is going. As you can see, we are live and in person around a table. They're
Turkey.
Oh,
like-
we should have had one person that still like attended via tablet, and you just like put it.
just set them. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
But they have to have the stream delay. They're not like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Tom, what about you? Unpopular opinion.
The hot dog is a sandwich.
But yeah, we are live here in person just as this
Depends on how
show
many topics.
was born and was meant to be.
Unacceptable.
As you can see, there's also more than 4 of us, which is also kind of a first for us. It's 5. It's actually 5.
You're telling me that you've been doing this show and you don't usually have 5 people?
Yeah.
Not 5
Yeah.
on this?
Yeah, sorry.
That
Yeah.
seems like abyss. I'm telling you how to run your show.
The screen's set up for 4.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
it'll be a 3-hour
It-
show.
it'll-
Mick has now signed up to be our 5th member every week.
Oh.
All the time.
Look, all we need is an
Isn't it
opinion.
every other week?
Every
It's
other
every
week.
But yeah, to go around the table, start the guy who just ate, just put some in his mouth. Brian.
That's the perfect time to introduce someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
correct.
Hands down.
Pure essence.
There we go. Get some close-ups on
It's
some
like
people
that's
here.
like when the waitress comes over and asks you if you want anything else right after you've taken a bite.
Yeah.
Jamming food in your mouth.
Yeah.
Is everything
It's like-
going good here?
Oh, it's right.
Next to Brian, we have Ark.
Which
Yeah.
one? Which one are we doing?
Yeah, we're on
No.
we're on all of them now.
Oh,
so
no.
you
On the
can
camera.
Oh, God.
you can like pick a camera. You can look at it now. It's all
Finger
good.
guns.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, the Shang-Chi's back.
You should probably leave it there because that's how you're going to explain the.
Yeah,
It's true. It's true. I'm
I'm
Ian.
feeling it's out of room.
I'm done.
I'm sorry to be a backseat driver.
I'm just kidding.
We need a producer.
You do need a
I think we
producer.
just got one.
We have Mick.
That's me.
Yeah,
She's the producer.
she's the person out. And last but not least, we have Sean.
Who's
So
who's kind of thrown all this together with his magic algorithms and stuff.
Mhm.
yes, yeah. So if you would please explain how we're gonna go through all 27 films of the MCU.
Okay, so this was kind of like golf rules. So everybody ranked their lists, and then I took the list and I put them all together, and the lowest score was the number 1 movie. As an example, Shang-Chi's on the screen. If all of us ranked it at 27, it would get a total score of 135 out of 135 points, and that would be at the bottom.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Actually,
we
a
are
terrible score.
right. We are on there, color coded. The Shang-Chi was just a demo, so Ian could see how these would look when I gave them to him.
Yeah.
That is not where Shang-Chi landed. But it'll have the ranking at the top, the score on the right, and then all of our actual scores at the bottom.
So
And I will tell you, there were 2 ties. I won't tell you where, but there were 2 ties.
and
Wouldn't
so
that be 4 ties?
well, yeah,
yeah.
4 movies were.
4 movies were tied
Two
twice
positions.
in
Yeah.
2 positions.
Gotcha.
And if there's some questions on the tiebreakers, I will explain.
What if we had like a 4-way tie for like 7th? You know,
That'd have been
pretty
really complicated.
Everybody feels adequately about Spiderman Homecoming.
It is adequate.
It is a movie.
If it's number 7, it's good.
Yeah, I mean that's like out of
But not the
20,
best.
out of 27. That's respectable.
Yeah, that's just outside top 5.
Good, not great.
Yeah, because I'll say there were definitely some movies on here. Like I was saying to Brian before we started, like there were movies that I personally like a lot, but they just got bumped down the list by other better things.
Mm-hmm.
Like
See, that's cowardice.
so yeah, how we gonna do this? We just gonna pop
Do
one
it.
up
Yeah,
here
pop
and,
it up.
and,
And when
explain?
we're done with 27, we'll move on to 26. We'll just
Okay.
fire right through.
Okay. All right. So
The real number.
get this statted. Number 27. It'll be delayed for you guys over there, so this half of the table gets to see what I'm doing on the screen over here. These guys have no idea.
Why?
It's still Shang-Chi.
No way.
No.
No way.
No. Number
Table flip,
one
end of show.
is the Incredible Hulk.
So
That's not number 1.
number 27.
Number
Our
27.
our first
The first
movie.
one.
The
Bottom
worst,
of the list.
the worst one.
The first worst one.
Now,
I haven't seen it. That's all I'm
to
gonna say.
clarify,
Yeah.
I also have not seen it, so
Yeah.
it just automatically fell to the bottom for me.
Okay, yeah, it's fine.
It's a movie.
But I've seen enough memes about it that I'm just like, yeah, all right, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't even think I've seen a meme of it.
What?
This is like no one memes this movie.
I've seen more memes of the Eric Bana Hulk.
That's what
True.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen the Edward Norton like creepy smile thing at the end of the movie a few times.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Oh,
You know,
all right.
yeah, it's creepy. But like, yeah, it's
Oh, but it had Lou Ferrigno cameos.
It
so I
did.
think that.
it had a
That's what elevated it all the way to 26 for you guys.
Yes.
Oh, and it
Yes,
has.
that's what did it.
It also has the teacher from Spider-Man,
Mhm.
the debate teacher.
Yep.
Oh, the
He-
guy that lost all the students.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like not again.
Yep.
But he's in it as like a lab tech,
Oh.
and
Oh, that's-
Edward Norton. Who cares?
Yeah, it's fine.
You haven't seen it? It's
It's
not.
been,
It's been out
came
for
out in
like
what 2006.
2008.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
14 years.
Yeah, but he bribes him to get into the computer lab by giving him a pizza,
that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
and he's like waving the pizza at Edward
That's
Norton
awesome.
in victory.
So yeah, this is like, it was okay. It was really disappointing as a Hulk movie, like ultimately, because he spends almost no time as the Hulk,
Hmm.
which
Oh, that's a problem.
it's like the Michael Bay Transformers movies.
Mm.
You shouldn't watch a movie called Transformers for 45 minutes before you see a robot.
But Shia.
Fuck Shia.
But Shia
Shia
LaBeouf.
He hates him too.
Shia LaBeouf.
But like, what I'll give it credit that yeah, it does sort of advance the MCU in a couple of ways, other than being the Hulk's back, intro story, which it does gloss over the intro story, and I appreciate that because it's like yeah, we know he irradiated himself and he became the Hulk.
Did
We
you know Batman's parents died?
No,
Wrong
we need
one
to
of
see it in every movie Batman appears. We need to
I'm sorry,
see
it's a
it.
massive
Did you
spoiler.
know that with great power
What?
comes some level of responsibility?
We did get 2 Spider-Man movies where they didn't say that was
True.
Yeah.
legit.
So, and I mean, it gave us like General Ross, who shows up later in the
Thunderbolt,
MCU. He's not the Red Hulk yet, but someday. But so it advanced the MCU a little bit, but it's still that's like really the only thing that bumped it up from 27 to 26 for
Yeah.
me.
Now, I'm trying to, chronologically, what were there any MCU movies that were released before that?
Iron Man, and then this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so it was right on the heels of Iron Man.
Yeah, in the first year.
They were still trying to feel it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't know if it was really gonna be a combined universe yet.
Yeah. Well,
It was
they
in the,
did.
it was in the books, but they didn't know if it was ever gonna work. So they weren't really hedging on it that much yet.
Yeah, they're teasing ideas because Robert Downey does make a cameo at the end
He does, yeah.
That's right.
So
to talk to Thunderbolt Ross.
I'm here for the Avengers Initiative. Brr, brr, brr.
Mhm.
and
That's
then
the
they
exact line.
changed. And then they changed
He
that.
sounds just like he's played by a Muppet.
I'm Robert Downey Jr.
It's his voice.
All right, we're waiting too much
I was
time
gonna
on
say that.
27. Let's
Yeah.
I thought we were firing through these. Be
No,
like,
no,
yeah,
no,
it was
no.
okay.
Yeah.
I do want to note the shocking thing is that 2 people at this table did not list it as their worst movie.
Yeah. Well, we'll
So what does that mean?
What does that mean?
I have a feeling we're going to talk about that movie next.
Very soon,
Yeah,
maybe.
that movie is, in fact, number
The
26 is The Eternals.
Brian, you got some explaining to do. Number 25. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
That was okay.
Well,
It-
I would like to clarify, had not seen it.
Yeah.
I expect I will rank it above what I've put at the bottom of my list. I'm sure it's better than like Iron Man 2 and 3, which I'm pretty sure are my bottom two. Spoilers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's-
But I still haven't seen it.
I was confident that I would like this more than Hulk, so I just put it there at 26.
It has a lot
okay.
of good things going for it, but there's too much going on. It's just like,
Yeah.
let's introduce just a whole ass version of the world to you, and you care, right? You get like
And then
7
like
main
10
characters.
Oh, 7. Okay.
No, it's
There's like
there's a lot of them.
there's at least 5 main characters. So
How
just
many are on the poster?
It's another
Oh,
Avenger
it's like
sized
nine.
team that
Yeah,
they introduced
and they-
in a single
4, 5,
movie.
Right, they
6,
did nothing to
7,
build it up.
8, 9, 10. 10
But-
characters
Yeah.
you need to care about.
But
I can't do it. I don't have the emotional bandwidth.
yeah, and also like the director, who's a
Chloe
Chloe
Zhao.
Zhao.
Chloe Zhao. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a great director.
Yes.
But there's a whole lot of people just like staring off, like wistfully or like contemplatively,
Yeah.
and it's just like there's too much shit going on to take this much time with a person,
Yeah.
like considering what it's like to be
And there's
eternal.
just heel turns that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of the movie, it's like trying to throw a climax on top of a climax on top of a climax. I'm just like, just fucking
Just
do
do a
something.
sky beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, come on.
Yeah,
Like, and it's almost 3 hours. It's a long
it's a long movie.
So it hit the cardinal sin for me of it's a superhero movie that's boring.
Yeah.
Like-
I
Wait, so you have seen Eternals and you think it's worse than the Hulk
I do.
and Iron Man 2?
I do.
All right.
Wait, and
He's
Iron
gonna
Man.
judge us.
No,
so
Iron Man
hard
2.
when he watches
Iron Man
it.
2's lower. Because this was 26 and 27 for Arcane.
yeah,
No,
mine's
no.
only one spot
No,
higher.
mine's-
I don't
no,
think I have a
mine's-
lot.
You have a lot of explaining to do.
No, I thought yeah,
This is
no,
this is their
worse.
last-
This is
the
this
worst
is
one. according
yeah,
to
this is
Yeah.
worse than Iron Man 2 and 3 for me. It
See, I
is.
thought of it for me.
Iron Man 2 and 3 have a few things that win points above
Well-
the Eternals.
Well, and I have some criteria too that are like, is this fun to watch in the background while I'm doing something else and not spending time paying attention to it? And the Eternals is very like, it takes all the RAM. Like you have to watch it,
A lot of
and
technical terms tonight.
it's too much.
See, I thought this was more rewatchable than the one that I put at 26. That's
Okay.
why I
Okay.
bumped it
Okay.
up.
All right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, it does have a lot of stuff going for it. Like it's got an Asian female lead.
It's got
Yeah.
Kumail Nanjiani,
Yeah.
who is phenomenal.
Oh, he's honestly.
But it's not as much as Iron Man 2.
No, but yeah, like best character in the movie.
Hard and hands
stop.
Yeah.
Like, But yeah.
There's a weird quasi-pedo subplot.
Yeah.
What did
Oh
Jasmine Reddit?
yeah.
No, surprisingly.
No, well, I mean, it's just one of the Eternals is always looks like a kid,
Yeah.
I see. Gotcha.
and for some reason that makes her feel like she can't be in a romantic relationship.
Despite being the same age as everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
100,000
It's-
years old.
Uh,
It's
anime.
100,000-year-old anime
They-
vampire.
And there's like characters you want to live don't live, and characters that you want to just watch get chopped off early, stay the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's
Now
just
we
like,
haven't
come
seen
on.
the movie. Remember?
Come on, hey, there was a
Spoiler,
there was a
people die.
spoiler
Oh,
warning.
spoiler.
I
People
mean,
die.
if
You
you
lined up for the. Oh,
Like-
okay.
People
You had a
die.
month to
are-
watch this.
I will. We can tell you,
You had like a week. It was on Disney
It's
Plus.
true.
not all the Eternals turn out to be that eternal.
Whoa.
All right, let's move
Okay.
on.
All right.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Last thing I want to say, it's almost like it's an Avengers movie where they introduce all the characters in the
Yes.
one movie,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds crazy, but they did it successfully with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Ian and
it's
I were
just-
trying to compare.
It doesn't have character.
There's something about it overwhelmed me. I was like, I'm too
Yeah.
stressed. There's too many characters. here.
And some
It's too
characters
serious.
annoyed me, and yeah, it's just,
I think it also takes itself too seriously.
it is a very,
Very
serious
serious.
movie.
Yeah.
For a Marvel movie, it's very serious.
Yeah.
Which is odd. Like
Yeah.
they don't release get into the comic relief till way too late.
Yeah.
All right. So number 25.
2-5.
2-5. So we're starting to get into the territory of okay, everybody should have seen these at some point.
Like-
Everybody has seen everything.
Yeah.
But now we've seen everything else. We're
Okay.
good.
Yeah. We hit the two. Like one was too new, and the other one is not
Too
on
old.
Disney.
Too old.
Plus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
too old.
it's
Not
too
on
old.
Disney.
Not on
So,
Disney Plus.
yeah. So number 25,
Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Okay, I was gonna say if Iron Man 2 is lower than 3, something is weird.
Yep.
So I wanted to talk about this when we got to Iron Man 2, and I'm just going to do it now.
Okay.
I'm really annoyed that there's Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, and Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and Iron Man 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no subtitle.
Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
That's the only series that
That's
they
the only
need
one
to
that did it.
know.
No,
Guardians of the Galaxy
Oh,
does do Volume 1 and
Volume
Volume 2.
Yeah.
but
But
I
I-
accept that a bit more because they've got that theming.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, they started pretty
Yeah.
much right off.
No.
And like for me, like Iron Man 3, like I had to rewatch it just to make sure how low it was gonna go on my list. And it, on top of the fact that the ending, which so many people loved, is garbage.
It means nothing.
It means nothing.
Yeah.
He blows up all of his suits, and the next time we see him, he's in a new
He's
suit,
an Ultron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like officially retiring, and then boom.
flying around in Eastern
With
Europe.
And he's-
no explanation at all.
And also, he's at that point he's made the robot like drone suits
Yep.
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
It's like
And-
Beanie Babies. He's like, I'm retiring these ones.
Yeah, which all
Yeah,
seem
they're
cool.
going to the
Yeah.
Disney Ball.
There will be a theme. I don't like Iron Man. Like,
It's fine.
he's just
I realized I gave this a 19. I must have liked it.
yeah.
You must have.
No,
Holy shit.
yeah. I thought Iron Man 3 had a lot of stuff going for it. Like the ending doesn't really hit,
No.
and the whole like
It has.
Pepper Potts subplot doesn't really work because they don't have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah.
But I really do like that the first like whole part of the movie is like, what if a superhero had PTSD
Mhm.
because of going through some traumatic
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? Like, yeah,
No, that
maybe
is-
we should. Maybe that's worth like discussing. Maybe
Mm.
that's worth representing.
Mm.
Like, did Tony sell it? Not 100%, but
Well, that's because in the second half of the movie,
he just
they-
hates
they-
Iron Man.
they drop
Hates Iron Man.
yeah, they
Yeah.
drop it.
His
And-
house is attacked and destroyed and falls off a cliff,
Yeah,
and then he's fine.
yeah. He has one. He
But
has a
even, like-
couple of panic attacks, and then he goes like commando and breaks into the villa.
That is how panic attacks work. I
But yeah,
can't-
yeah,
I
no,
can't-
no. I mean, no. I think that is one of the things that brought it up above the Incredible Hulk and the Eternals for me. The PTSD arc is actually good,
Yeah,
and
Like, as a concept, it's good, but yeah, like, I don't.
but
yeah,
they
it's
had
not-
Tony Stark be the guy.
I get so frustrated with Tony Stark and Iron Man because he's always wrong.
Yeah.
And he always blames everybody else for all of his problems.
he wasn't wrong in Civil War. He was right.
He's absolutely wrong.
No, he was
He was
wrong about a lot.
he was not wrong about the Hero Registration Initiative.
No, I agree. But
I'm teeing
but,
it up for
like,
later.
But yeah, Iron
Alright.
Man 3, it also has
Sizzle,
too,
sizzle.
it has too many bait and switches. It's like, who's the bad guy? Well, I know
I do like that though.
I
That was
don't
good.
because
I really
it
like
happened.
It was funny.
4 times.
It
I guess
was
I'm
really
only.
funny.
It was a lot.
very
I'm only
Ben
thinking about the
Kingsley
movie.
is amazing.
Well, yeah, well, no, well, and the thing is, like, I love the Trevor review.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that
That's
that
fair.
he's this manufactured terrorist, and he's just some stoned, washed up British actor.
He falls
I
asleep
love-
while explaining why.
Yeah, and I love that it's Ben Kingsley. He is awesome.
Yeah.
Sir Ben Kingsley.
Sir
Yes.
Ben Kingsley, indeed, knighted for a reason.
Yeah, being in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, he's at a point in his career we can do literally whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
And he's loving
And
it.
own it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so no, I love that. I love how much James Rhodes we get. I love War Machine.
Yeah.
So I
Rhodey's
love that we get more Rhodey. And I, as dumb as Iron Patriot is, the movie knows that it's dumb.
Mhm.
They make fun of it the second that they mention the words Iron and Patriot together. So like it takes the right things not seriously.
Yeah.
But then it takes like stuff like I'm gonna blow up all my suits and get heart surgery and be a better man. And like, okay, you will blow up all your suits and get heart surgery, but you will not be a better man.
Yeah.
He arguably does become a better man.
Or, yeah, I mean, he improves in some ways.
Does
he? improves in some ways.
I
He
think
but-
spirals so hard that he blows up the entire Avengers.
That's
That's later.
later. And also, not entirely.
Yeah,
his
let's
fault.
see. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go to.
It's 100% his
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, chronologically, yeah, the next movie we see him
Is
in
Ultron.
is Age of Ultron,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
where he's not better in Age of Ultron.
It's a little better in Age of Ultron.
He's better in Civil War.
He's
We
better.
got a
in-
Tony Stark apologist over here.
all right,
I'm
let's,
done.
let's
Let's
talk
go-
about those when we get there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
okay,
talk about
okay,
this one.
All right,
Okay, okay.
we're putting the cart before
Okay.
the horse.
All right. All right.
I do think that the scene where he breaks into the villa with just stuff he bought at a department store is an amazing
It's
thing.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it shows like, yeah,
He's a
remember,
smart guy.
like he's actually a technological
genius.
genius.
Yeah.
He takes like a garden hose and like a glove, and then
Turns
he
it into
makes
a
a
taser.
blaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah. So like that's why it's not at the bottom.
Yeah.
It has those few things that raise it.
It
off
breaks
the
out of
top.
the 20s.
It does.
First
me.
one.
Technically, yes.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
yeah,
I agree with that.
we'll see what the first movie that makes a double-digit score is. That's gonna be
That's gonna be a
gonna
good
be
one,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, it's number 24. Fourth up from the bottom.
Fourth up from the bottom.
All right.
Iron Man 2.
I
rated this much higher than you did.
Yeah, you.
No, you were 22.
No, you didn't.
What?
Yeah. Sean and Brian tied at 22.
Oh, okay.
The rest of us were 24, 25. That's
Yeah.
the end of the table.
Yeah.
I think Iron Man 2 is dumb.
It's-
Like, the villains are stupid.
yes.
Elon Musk is in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
It just doesn't do
There
it
are,
for me.
that is the, like a lot of the Iron Man villains are all like stupid, sexy Tony Stark, and this is like
Oh, yeah. They're all I
He's more
hate Tony
attractive.
Stark
The
and
reason
want
it's at
revenge.
22 for
Yeah.
me, and I can't remember his name, I feel really bad, but
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Incredible. Bring
Yeah.
him back
Oh,
for
yeah.
any other movie.
Criminally underused.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what brought it up above Iron Man 3 for me.
Yeah.
Combination of Sam Rockwell and James Rhodes.
Mhm.
And
Rhodey gets a lot of time.
Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Like, we get to,
Don
like,
Cheadle is Rhodey.
we
He's
really
really
get...
I'm here, it's me, deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He shows up and is just like, no, we fired Terrence Howard.
Yeah, so I wanted to have like a subcategory for each movie, especially in the lower ones, like who is criminally underused in these.
Mm.
Oh,
Going back to
Sam
Iron Man
Rockwell.
3, I would probably say Ben Kingsley and Guy Pearce because I like Guy Pearce a lot.
Okay.
He's a good actor.
But in this one, Sam Rockwell all the way.
Yeah.
He steals like every scene he's in.
Yeah.
Like he's phenomenal.
He's
that
so
would be a good episode. Ian and I were talking about favorite characters, but like underused characters.
That would also be good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, give
Top
me
5
a-
great characters in bad movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
give
that's
me
it.
a,
Yeah,
give me
that's
a
a great
what if with just Sam Rockwell who like what if Sam Rockwell became Iron Man?
Oh, God.
Yeah,
Everyone would
yeah.
He
die.
would kill himself by accident. Yeah.
I'm pulling for him.
He'd make Ultron, but shitty.
Like incompetent Ultron.
Sucktron. Yeah.
Why am I here? Bye.
Like,
Yeah.
just turn himself off.
No.
They're a plus. No way.
I gave
yeah.
him too many emotions. It was too much for him.
Yeah, we get this one. This one gives us the birth of War Machine.
Yeah.
Officially.
Yeah.
And yeah, give me that.
Mm.
Give me that all day.
I-
Like,
I
I
think-
can't wait for
I-
this show.
I will say this gets above. Well, this actually was my bottom one. Never mind. Just get above. It was the scene where they're like, the big guns up on the hill, and they both like go
They
to
both
take-
walk away.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The drones were cool. Like
They're
they
cool.
they looked cool. They acted cool. They were unnecessary.
Mhm.
They were just there to show off
Action
how
scene.
cool Iron Man and War Machine are.
Yeah.
I think most things in most of the movies.
How
are
cool
unnecessary.
War Machine?
Yeah.
How cool War Machine is? Iron Man happened to be there.
Yeah. The drunk fight at the party is really good.
It is funny.
Yeah.
It's just
My favorite scene in the whole movie. I mean, the race fight with
Was neat.
Flash
That was
is
neat.
cool.
Yeah.
With the suitcase suit, which is,
Mhm.
I don't know, it's
It was
one of
neat.
the coolest suits.
Mhm.
But I think the best scene is just like when Justin Hammer's explaining the ex-wife,
Oh yeah.
and then
Oh.
the payoff later on with it.
Oh, just that whole scene. He's just going through. He's just like holding up assault rifles and miniguns,
Mhm.
and he's like, "It's a pea shooter. What do you care?"
Yeah.
Let me move on to this next thing, and then Don Cheadle's like, "Yeah, I'll take it." Well, which one?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah. And it's true. It does. Yeah.
All right.
All right,
So that's two movies that Don Cheadle has saved
Mhm.
Yeah.
for Robert Downey Jr. for me.
And ironically, like Iron Man started the whole MCU off.
Agreed.
I still think that's an incredible movie. You'll see when we get there. But like, yeah, his sequels, real bad,
Real rough.
real bad. Yeah.
All right, so 23.
Let's talk about some good movies
Let's
now.
talk about some. Let's see. Well, let's see.
We
What
already
was-
hit Iron Man 3.
What was my 23?
Done.
My 23, if it's accurate.
Don't worry about yours. Stop looking at
Yeah,
yours.
like,
Look at
not-
Look at the thing.
Yeah.
24.
See, this one was my outlier. Thor:
This
The
is your
Dark
outlier. Yeah.
I ranked this 16.
I thought,
Holy shit!
I betrayed you and ranked it 20.
Brian, I thought you liked this one because it has space elves in it.
It does have space elves that have like gravity grenades and stuff. It's super cool, but
They weren't
it's
blown
not
up.
enough to make me want to watch the rest of the movie.
I'm gonna be real with you. I ranked a lot of these by how much I remember them without having rewatched them,
Fair.
and I can't
Good way
tell
to do
you
it.
what happens in Thor: The Dark World beyond there are space elves, and they refer to Mjolnir as Meow Meow. Those are the two things that I remember about
There's
this
red
whole
goop.
movie.
Those are
Freya dies.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't
Loki,
recall that happening.
Loki is incredible in this movie.
Yes, yeah, that's
That's
the movie
Tom
where
Wilson's-
they
that's what
decided.
Really enjoy his second of 7 deaths.
yes.
Well, yeah, but the writers were all like,
And they make
what-
fun of that.
Yeah.
The writers were all like, "What's up? Loki can be a character." This was the movie where they did that, and I think that's what made Loki the series possible.
Right.
And therefore, I gotta cut it a little slack. 'Cause-
Yeah, especially the moment after Freya's killed. Spoiler: Rene Russo dies after having 5 lines in 2 movies. She
She gets a lot more.
the
than
reveal that Loki's he's like
He's,
trashed his
devastated.
cell,
Yeah, he's like devastated by
and
that.
he's like the whole illusion drops. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
incredible.
Yeah, it's like, Loki cared about shit.
Yeah, yeah, but
It
he
was
tries
awesome.
so hard not.
Ha, what a
to look like
fool.
it.
Yeah.
It's neat. I'm into it. I don't know.
But everything else, yeah, forgettable is all shit.
Simply a mysterious sad boy.
I also think that Thor Until Ragnarok, which obviously will be way higher, is incredibly forgettable and boring.
He
Like, he does some really funny things, like another, and he slams the thing, and then he like in Ultron or one of the movies, he walks in and hangs up his hammer, like really fun stuff.
yeah.
But most of the time he's like, I am a god.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And I think they led off that way. I think they really wanted Asgard to be like this Shakespearean world, which is why they had Kenneth Branagh lead off with it. And it wasn't until they later movies they started to realize Chris Hemsworth's really funny.
Oh, they want to have fun when they see
Yeah.
movies. Oh, weird.
Yeah.
And
then
Chris
they let Taika
Hemsworth, like,
Waititi-
he's gonna quit.
Yeah. He improvised the hanging the hammer on the
Yeah, that was an improvised thing.
Yeah.
He just walked in and did it. They're like, oh.
yeah, and it's like one of the best parts of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so this fell relatively low for me just because I think that maybe in Avengers or Ultron he was more fun, but like in his solo movies he was just very like in the first one he was a petulant child,
Yes.
Yeah.
which I get, that's the point, I know.
Yep.
But in the second one he was still just like, I'm from Asgard.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Cool.
Now he's,
You're not there now. Shut up.
yeah. Now he's sad because he's not with Jane.
Yeah.
Until he goes and sees Jane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that like Loki legit outshines him in this movie.
Oh, 100%.
Like, it's just, and he's not even a focal point. He's not even the focal point. Thor's still the focal point, and somehow like
Loki was just better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. So like that's why it fell relatively low for me.
My criminally underrated character in this is Natalie Portman. She's
She'll
a
get her
brilliant
comeuppance.
actress, and yeah, I mean she's gonna be in Thor: Love and
people
Thunder.
gotta stop giving her bad roles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
This,
yeah,
yeah.
she-
Because this one,
Can
like,
you
she
go be
was
sad
good.
in this movie, please?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was good, but she was the damsel in distress in
Yeah.
this entire movie, which
Yeah.
he wasn't in Thor.
Yeah,
Right.
she was a powerful,
Yeah.
like scientist character.
Yeah.
Like
Super smart, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and then
just
they
took all her power away.
Yeah.
Because
no
they
wonder
stuck-
she didn't want to
stuck
do
the
any more
red goop in
movies.
No,
All
this one, yeah, this one won points for me because Loki, it sets up one of my favorite scenes in Endgame. We'll get there. And just in general, like I just liked it was just better than the first Thor. The first Thor is pretty boring. It is like it has a couple of good lines from Chris Hemsworth, and that's it.
Yeah.
But like the side it's all the side characters in Thor 2 that make it better. Like Darcy's funny, Eric Selvig is hilarious, like the intern who coincidentally named
Darcy.
Ian. Like it's like they're all great. They actually did stuff with the side characters. But they did forget to do anything with Thor.
Like I don't remember anything Thor from this movie. I don't remember him doing anything.
He doesn't do much.
The two things that I remember Thor for is throwing a mug down,
Yep.
and then when he's screaming at his dad in tears. Those are the two things I remember Thor for before Avenger movies. I'm just like,
And those happened in Thor 1.
yeah. So it's like,
Yeah, see, your brother. says that Thor is a good collection of one-off bits,
Yeah.
not great as a comprehensive movie.
But they got there.
Yeah.
Later.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So let's see how. Yeah. Now, so that was Thor 2. So how far did y'all put Thor? That's.
I put Thor.
I bet you it's right. I bet you it's next. I can't remember, but I think it's next.
It is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did.
Number
Yeah.
22, Thor.
I did it at 23. Yeah.
So all the things I just it's unmemorable. He's just a bland character to begin with.
Not ready
They
to
picked him
apologize.
later, but
Like
Yeah.
we do get a bit more Anthony Hopkins,
And blonde eyebrows.
which is great.
mhm.
Yeah, he was super
Oh,
blonde.
that's
He was
right.
super blonde in in Thor and the Avengers.
Mm.
Yeah, they bleached that boy.
Just dip his whole head.
It's like, no, white.
I don't know why I technically put it above Dark World. I think it's a little
It's
bit
better.
better.
I think it's better.
It's
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
it's a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Every original movie I almost like Iron Man 1 is definitely higher. But all of the firsts, I was like, yeah, okay, you didn't have a lot to work off of.
Mm.
You didn't have an established thing to then do.
Mm.
So I gave him a lot more credit.
Right.
So it's not a lot more credit because just one more for me, but like I was like, all right, Thor was better than 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
give
like
it.
Heimdall.
Heimdall's great.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think that-
Heimdall's
Yeah.
great.
He's
Yep.
the criminally underused one in this one, I would say.
And all
Yeah.
that. Well, I guess he gets his time to shine in the third one.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, like for me,
And then-
like I appreciate I appreciate that they gave us like like you said, like a Shakespearean look
Mhm.
into superhero movies.
Yes.
Like
I think it was a
appreciate that.
mismatch, though.
It was.
Yeah.
But
Because
it was early, so
Yeah.
This is the one you would try.
This was the third one, right?
third or fourth.
I think
Oh,
it's
fourth.
fourth. Iron Man 2 came before this and Captain America the First Avenger.
Yeah.
First Avenger was like the 5th movie.
I've got a timeline order not released.
And Avengers
This was
the
before
sixth.
First Avenger?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 was the third movie, I think.
It was Iron Man. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I
No,
remember,
Iron
I remember we were like
Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, and then I think it was Thor next. Yeah.
I remember
Thor,
we
then-
were still thinking it's like, oh, they're doing the Avengers, so when's Black Widow's movie gonna be?
Sorry.
Funny thing.
Funny thing about that, we'll get there. I guess we don't have anything else to say about Thor.
Yeah, we've already complained about Thor.
We've already talked
Thor.
about it, I think.
That's
So,
so luck.
So what do we got next?
21 is Black Widow.
Hey!
I'm being real good
I
at
made
these
a
jokes.
difference.
I went 14 on this one. Nick, go ahead.
I was gonna say I rated it 23 because this movie is 5 years too late,
Yes,
and I
yeah.
don't like it because of that.
I
It's a well created movie. Like there's parts of it that are very funny. The guy from Stranger Things is great.
Yep.
Black Widow is far outshined by her sister.
Yeah,
But the
fun
stakes
theory.
of the movie are like negative.
Mhm.
And I also don't love that it canonized that 9/11 happens in the MCU. Don't love that. Don't think we needed that to be in the MCU. We didn't need 9/11 to happen in the MCU.
Yeah, New York is already attacked in the MCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also then like, okay, so now you have to figure out an in-universe reason why all these superheroes didn't prevent 9/11.
Yeah.
You know, it's just there's magical realism and there's like
Well,
Yeah,
because
like-
in a lot of ways, like the Battle of New York was kind of a stand-in for that. The superheroes did
Yeah.
participate in that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it
but
makes
then
sense.
they were like, no. We had the war on terror
Yeah,
and
yeah.
9/11 in the MCU.
They let W have it.
Wouldn't technically the only active superhero at the time would have been Captain Marvel, who would have been off-world?
I mean, I think technically, because like when was Iron Man released? Like 05?
2008. 8, yeah.
So yeah, it was too late, but still, like
Anyway.
the fact but no, your point still stands.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So for Black Widow, I ranked it relatively high, just out of the top half. Because I discounted and I left alone the fact that it came out.
Oh, this is the first double-digit one though.
Ooh, it is.
Hey.
98.
It did come out in the wrong year. It should have come out 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I agree. But if I take this in isolation as a movie, I liked it. I liked it a lot. There were a lot of good characters, a lot of good moments. It was fun.
Yeah.
There was some silliness, like
Hair flip.
Black Widow pinballing down a fucking alleyway 7 times. That was all right. Not much.
That's
She's
more
not
believable than when she fell off the fucking satellite.
like she's not superhuman, but like all right. But I still enjoyed it as a film. So
Yeah. This one, I'll actually point out, I nailed this one.
yeah, true.
Hey, how about that?
I guessed right on this one because for like I didn't all the reasons why you like it. Like, it was good. It was enjoyable. It's fun. It is a movie that I'll just have on in the background, and just look at the action scenes when they happen. But yeah, like,
Wrong time.
super low stake.
Character's
Like,
already dead.
like yeah, it has such a big issue. It has the same issue that all prequels and interquels have, but it didn't compel me to watch it. It was just like,
I
okay.
can think of some other prequels that are really good, actually.
Well, yeah, some can be really good, but that's the thing. They're like, okay, well, we need to make the stakes for this character good, or we need to explain something about the world.
I was.
This didn't either.
I was talking about the Star Wars prequels.
No.
Oh,
No, well, that's the thing. Like,
no,
there
I
are,
don't think about other
Oh,
prequel
man.
series.
yeah, there are some that it works, but
Yeah.
they make you care for some other reason. This one, like, yeah, the only reason is like, well, we need to introduce Florence Pugh's character so that she can be a
She could be in Hawkeye.
Yeah. She does do great.
and yeah, she's great. And yeah, she's great. Stephen Harbour, the what is it?
David
the
Harbour.
Red Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
David Harbour is like his character's great, and
Yeah.
I love that they brought him in, and like his first scene as him is like talking about how he fights Iron Man in the '80s, and
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah. So he
But the
breaks
thing
his
is,
arm.
like,
but they don't explain it.
Yeah.
that I think all the reasons why the movie is like technically good is why it gets a low rating for me, because I'm like, you could have done this at any point and you didn't.
And I think Black Widow on the whole suffers from a lot of just bad writing throughout the MCU.
I wonder why that is.
Weird. It's almost like they don't treat her the same as everyone else for some
Almost
reason.
like
weird.
Yeah.
It's
Also-
like she got introduced in Iron Man 2, and some of us
As a-
actually forgot.
Yeah, as
We didn't even bring it up.
Whole thing.
We didn't even bring it up. We already missed it.
Well, no, that was. I remember when I saw the Avengers, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is Black Widow."
Mhm.
Totally forgot that she was in Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
She ends up happy.
Yeah, but I totally forgot.
They also ruined one of my favorite street level villains, and that's Taskmaster.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
What was with that?
yeah.
Yeah,
Taskmaster
it
was
my
weird.
favorite one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Their version of it.
they had to tie in her like the backstory that they just casually mention in a movie. But
See, they could have. I don't know Taskmaster's entire backstory. I'm pretty sure it was previously male.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing that it was like, oh, it's his daughter, and oh, that's a big reveal. They could have just done it with his son, like, but
Well, they could have just not done it at all.
yeah,
Or just
there could have just been a
Right?
henchman.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was.
There didn't need to be a half crippled, like
It's-
mentally reprogrammed child.
Yeah, it was
child
like
man.
Like
you know?
Cyborg Child.
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we gotta put Taskmaster in the MCU. Put him in Black Widow. Like you're just like
put him in
go.
put him in Moon Knight. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
You're just going through your list of IPs you own, and you like fan out your pack of villains. You're like, oh, who we got? Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a habit of doing that, like, cause in Winter Soldier, no,
We'll get there.
in Civil War, like they bring in like Rumlow, like I forget what his
Crossbones.
Crossbones.
Yeah.
They
For
bring him
3
in.
minutes.
Yeah, and they bring him in, and Cap takes care of him, and that's it.
Well, technically.
He took care of himself.
He
We'll
takes
talk
care of
about
it. They like to do that with their side villains.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Criminally underused character
It's hard
or
to say.
actor.
Is it Black Widow?
yeah, yes,
It's not.
Black Widow.
It's not Ray Winstone, who tries desperately to be Russian.
Oh, yeah. I would say Rachel Weisz. I really like Rachel Weisz.
She's a great actress.
I think she did good.
Yeah, she did good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have done a little more with her. I think.
All right, number 20.
Number 20.
Captain Marvel.
That's a bold guess. That's a bold
Yeah.
guess.
Damn
It is Age of Ultron,
Oh.
Yeah.
which I have rewatched.
Ian
That's,
Bryan
that's what
nailed
I
it.
got.
Yep, nailed it. Like it has some great scenes.
James
like
Spader's awesome.
James
Yeah.
Spader is awesome. The party scene,
Mhm.
like when they're just chilling.
One of the best in the MCU.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're just being people.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
is great, and obviously the hammer thing that pays off later.
Mhm.
But
I don't. Yeah, like Tony Stark, no filter, being the like villain is kind of an interesting choice.
well, and like at
Like,
the
I know it's got history, but
but even then, like at the end, like they're like the end just happens. They have a weird ass party split after they get to Hawkeye's house, which Hawkeye's house is cool. That collection of scenes is good.
Yeah.
But then they're just like Tony's like, I'm gonna go to Norway. and Thor's like, I'm gonna go to a different part.
I'm gonna go take a
bath.
bath.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna just don't worry about where I'm going. And then they like Hulk goes here, and like they have this weird party split, and then they all just meet in Sokovia again after making the Vision. They're just like, Korea, somewhere in Korea.
Well, it's like Amadeus Cho's mom.
Yeah.
Is basically making the body of Vision at the time for Ultron.
Yeah.
The thing about this movie is there's no setup to it. They're just like, this is the big bad, it's Ultron. And it doesn't succeed as well as the other Avengers movies because it's not part of the serial. It's like, oh, we need to have another team up movie. Like, I think if this movie came out later, it would have just been like, this would have been Iron Man 4. Because really, it's an Iron Man story with the other Avengers are in it. But they were afraid at this point in their canon of like, oh crap, we got to get another Avengers movie. Yeah. Whereas like every movie is the Avengers now. They're all team ups.
This should have been Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would have been better as Iron Man 3. I agree.
Or Iron Man 4.
Yes. Like,
so
they could have some bad Iron Mans.
I liked it.
I liked Ultron as a villain. I wish that he had been able to stick around in some way, and maybe he will. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, that's his whole thing. That's his whole thing.
We got a 2-part What If episode.
Yeah. Oh, did he? I haven't watched What If. I should do that.
It's bad.
It's bad.
Crazy.
All of
it.
I
like What If.
There were some episodes that I liked, but
Captain Carter.
I would say that
Captain Carter's off.
The delta between good episodes and not good episodes is
it's a real
huge.
Yeah, it's definitely.
But we're not talking about TV. I'm sorry for bringing
no, we like when we brought up the show, we're like, do we want to put the TV shows in there? I'm like, no, it's just gonna be at the bottom.
No.
Like there's some good ones.
Falcon Winter Shoulder would make my top 5.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. But it's just like the range is even within the TV shows is there.
Pretty crazy.
Is there. But
I think
for Ultron, it's just the pacing's weird, the writing's weird, the opening
Joss was involved.
Yes, the opening action scene is too over the top.
I too am a monster, for I cannot have children.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like I get that it's supposed to be like a hey, no, it's okay if you can't have kids because I can't have kids. It starts out that way, and then the next sentence.
So what are women?
It's just like, oh, right, yeah.
Joss Whedon just
that's what they exist for, right?
Brief aside on Joss Whedon. It's a great new interview.
Didn't read it.
It's so he's defending himself against these allegations, and the things that he's saying in defense of himself is like bonkers. How like self-incriminating it is. They were like, "Hey, so you abused your power and slept with a bunch of women," and he was like, "Well, you understand, I was very nerdy, so I had to." And the interviewer was like, "Did you really just say that?"
Yeah,
it's very bad.
What?
It's so bad.
As a nerd, I don't think that's the reason.
I do think that this is one of the few times where I think there's too much studio meddling that is apparent on screen.
Yeah.
I think that's very apparent in other franchise movies, like Star Wars sequels and the DC movies. But Marvel's, even though they keep to a pretty strict formula a lot of the time, this one definitely seemed like they were getting the Spider-Man 3 treatment. Like, put more in!
Yep.
Put more in! And,
Yep.
you know, Joss did a great job with the first Avengers. I will say that. This is not as good.
No.
As a straight cis white male, I don't really have a lot that I can say about the monster thing. I don't hate it as much as a lot of other people do, because I think it's okay for a character to say that she feels like a monster because she can't do a certain thing. It's wrong that she feels that way.
Yeah.
She shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay for a character to say it.
But
then it gets into the why they have the character say it.
The
Why they
one
write
female.
that. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the,
I'm sitting here going like, as a cis white male who doesn't want kids, I'm like, so I'm a monster?
yeah.
I mean, I'm a monster because I'm a cis white male. We get that. But like,
I don't think that helps the discourse.
no, it doesn't. But I'm just sitting here going like, so it's just like, so kids is the answer for everybody's problem here. Like,
It's
no,
complicated because like kind of like the 9/11 thing. This is something that brushes on like very real world issues, and just like the way that expectations are piled on women and stuff like that. Like that's clearly something that was written by a room full of dudes.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, and that whole romance is just not believable at all.
Oh, that was one of the
I
things.
know.
That was one of the things that put the first Hulk down at the bottom of my list, and I know that it's all mired up in rights, but Hulk has a love interest in the first movie, and she doesn't die. She does not make an appearance in the MCU whatsoever.
She died on the way to her home.
How do you think he found out he can't get intimate?
Oh.
But I mean, it's supposed to be like Thaddeus Ross's daughter.
Nah.
So like,
superheroes.
so well, yeah.
There's a fan fiction somewhere.
Oh
Oh
man.
yeah, there is. All right, so number 19.
Rule 34, oh no.
Number 19, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Forgettable.
movie.
It's a movie.
It's a movie. I put it high.
I knew it.
You did nail it.
I did put it high. Again, this is one of those movies where all of the side characters make it for me.
Yes.
Like his ex-con buddies, Walton Goggins as the secondary antagonist. I love that dude, and he is hilarious in this because he's just so out of his league the whole movie, but he doesn't realize it.
The thing that I think Ant-Man gets kind of a raw deal in the MCU, because Paul Rudd is great.
Yeah.
And his supporting cast is really good, but they use the Ant-Man movies as deliveries for exposition for more important movies. They're like, what happens in Ant-Man and the Wasp? They establish that pin particles are magic, and there's something called the quantum realm, and you have to go there, and you do it because pin particles are magic.
Yep.
So in terms of moving the universe forward, like,
And
it happens in the after credits scene.
yeah, and actually,
Which is
yeah,
unfortunate, because Ant-Man deserves better, because it's like, there's something really there, except that, when did this come out? Like, after Infinity War, but before Captain Marvel or something?
Correct.
yes.
This came out at a really weird time, where it's like...
This had the Black Widow problem for me, where I'm just like, well, of course he's going to make it. Of course he's going to come out. He's going to do the thing.
Yeah.
So.
For me, and I think you're right, because what sets up Ant-Man, or like what sets up like Ant-Man, the first movie, the entire point was to set up this movie, which the entire point was to set up pin particles.
Yeah, so they can have a MacGuffin for Endgame.
Yep.
I think some of the best scenes in both Ant-Man movies, solo movies, are Michael Peña's character,
Oh,
the
yeah.
narration.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Doing the
Yeah.
drunk history storytelling.
Yeah. And this movie did give us FBI agent Jimmy Woo.
Yep.
Yes.
Also,
That's
Who
my
is-
criminally underused character, Randall Park.
Yep, absolutely.
He does amazing in WandaVision.
Oh,
Yep.
he's
Yeah,
so good in one.
what's
So
like-
good in WandaVision.
learn close-up magic.
Yeah.
Like,
That's character development, baby.
Yeah.
like,
It's awesome.
when I saw Randall Park come on screen in WandaVision, I was like, okay, this show got good.
Yep.
Yeah. Like every scene he has with Paul Rudd is also great in general.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But like the scene where he's like they're talking about going to dinner but not.
Mhm.
Like that scene is hysterical.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I mean, do you want to? No. Why would I?
But if you did.
Yeah, it's great.
I like that scene because you know that he probably did. He probably, like, Scott Lang probably called up Jimmy Woo and was like, do you want to get dinner?
Yeah.
I'm free.
I got
Thursday,"
nothing else
you know,
going on, literally.
You'll know where I am.
Just come pick me up.
But, yeah.
I think that's about it on this.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the villain, very forgettable. Lawrence Fishburne is boring in this.
Oh, he's not
He's-
really. I mean, it's Ghost.
he's-
Ghost has got a kind of a cool
Not in this movie.
movie.
Well, I mean, we don't get we don't get any of it. Like,
Ghost is not utilized a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the abilities are cool.
The abilities are
And
cool.
cool.
Cool power.
Evangeline Lilly is awesome in her scenes too.
Agreed.
She is.
Yeah. So there's
Yeah,
there's
it's
a
a little
lot
too late.
there's a lot of good stuff, but yeah, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't coalesce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 18. What we got?
Captain Marvel. I'm just gonna keep missing
Yes.
Captain Marvel until it is.
Until it happens.
Damn
Nope,
it.
the first Ant-Man.
Hey.
Whoa! Alright.
So all the things we said.
I actually ranked this.
The first one
The record will show. I ranked this one lower.
I rank this one higher. It's funnier.
It
I like it
is
better.
it is
The
funnier.
trains.
Yeah,
The
that's
train
that's
scene
so
is
good.
scene is
I,
Oh, yeah.
I hated the villain.
But
He was just
I want my daddy That lies.
He turned dude
I
into
want you-
Jew and
I
then
want
picked
you.
him up with the Kleenex.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah, but he's just such a like meh bad
Yeah.
guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
just like, oh, he's bad because he's an asshole.
He's a very Iron Man bad
that's
guy.
why
He's a very Iron Man
yeah.
guy.
And I don't like Iron Man
Stupid,
bad
sexy
guy.
Ant-Man.
Stupid,
Yeah.
sexy Paul Rudd.
And yeah, he even gets a suit with lasers. He's totally an Iron Man bad guy. He's okay. He's just in the wrong movie.
He's Wasp.
Yeah.
There's a Yellow Jacket.
Yellow Jacket,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is the Wasp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good name.
As someone with bee allergies, they the same. Different
Um,
species, but they the same.
I'm about to say.
Paul Rudd's great.
Paul Rudd is great.
D-aged Hank Pym, weird.
Oh yeah, smooth him. Smooth anybody in any of the
Like,
Marvel
smooth
movies.
anybody's
It's just
weird.
not a good time.
But yeah, I think this one did a better job than the sequel of like the size comparisons and like making that fun.
And the plot is much more cohesive.
Yeah. And yeah, the heist is
Yeah.
much easier to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much more cohesive.
I do also
Still-
like a heist movie.
I do like
Yeah.
the heist as well.
High Speed's good.
And Paul Rudd is good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Anyone criminally underused in this one? Michael Pena. probably.
Michael Pena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let him do more.
Yeah.
More.
But they probably fixed that in the second one. They're like, all right, you got it.
See,
Yeah.
He did get more.
I want a movie with two of those stories. So far, they've only given us one.
Like a Rashomon style.
Yeah. It's like,
Does everyone just like have to talk in their style?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. That's one of the things I love about him. It's very drunk history because
Yeah.
it's everybody pretending to be Michael Pena, pretending to be this guy telling a
Yeah.
story.
Even Stanley's cameo.
Yeah.
Speaking like Michael Pena, it's great.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, 17.
All right. 17.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Iron Man.
It's low.
Brian, you got some explaining to do, buddy.
It's low. This is a great movie. I think the rest of you have
No,
some explaining to do.
it is-
I've already said it. I hate Iron Man.
It is. In
15 is like middle of the pack.
to quote a meme,
You
it is
are
too
all-
damn high.
No, you are all wrong.
No,
This is you like this.
it's not bad.
This movie started it off. Any movie that makes me want to have the powers of the character, especially when it's a character I've never liked. I've never liked Iron Man. I've always thought in the comics, like I've always thought he was like
He's a
a
dude.
shit human
Yeah.
being. He was a bad version of Batman, and
Yeah.
but then like this movie, I was like, I want a fucking suit of armor that flies around. That seems super sweet.
I will say, in terms of like moving the MCU forward, no movie did more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like
Sure.
this movie came out in like the same decade as Daredevil and Elektra and X3
Mhm.
and
Yep.
the
and the Dark
Wolverine
Knight.
and the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So it was like, hey,
So
you can,
two of those movies are good.
yeah, the Wolverine and X3.
Yep.
Not
Yep.
those two.
No.
No, I would not. I would not defend
Hard,
those.
hard
They're
no.
quite bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it is good, and like, Iron Man is a character where it's like, who the fuck is Iron Man? Like,
Mhm.
who cares about this guy? I want to watch Spider-Man's.
Yeah.
And then you watch, and you're like, I want a suit of armor that shoots lasers. It's
Yeah.
fucking sick.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Like Jon Favreau is a great director. He
Favreau.
made this movie without a script.
In a cave.
Let me. He's basically describing what Jon Favreau had to do to put the MCU together. You know,
Yeah.
like
I'll
this was
steal both
this.
ways in wintertime to the studio.
Yeah, this was their thesis statements. Like, yes, we can create a successful movie studio with all of our C-list characters, and it's gonna be fine. And it worked amazingly,
Yeah.
and nobody's been able to beat it. And everyone has been trying to copy them ever since, and they've all fucked it up.
No, I agree on all of those points. But Jon Favreau also directed Iron Man 2,
Which was fine.
which it's so
What?
much lower on the list.
25.
Yeah, but however,
But you have to remember, like, the worst Marvel movie is better than like most of the DC
Accurate.
movies.
we were saying that
I agree.
earlier.
Because like,
Absolutely agree.
like when I say like, yeah, Iron Man 2 is my least favorite MCU movie, it was like, okay, well, it's
That's-
still better than like,
The first Suicide Squad.
well, it's definitely better than the first Suicide Squad. It's
That bar's
better.
on the
It's
ground.
better than like the Justice League. It's better than all of the like Fox era movies. It just like it's good. Like the worst
Yeah.
Marvel movie is still good.
Yeah, we were saying before, like before we started these cameras, that the worst Marvel movie is still probably a 3-star out of 5. But whereas the DC movies, I would go
down to 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd go that low for even Incredible Hulk. I still think it's a well-made movie.
Haven't seen it.
But the
point
the
is they
DC movies
struggle
to get to 3 stars.
I would definitely no arguments.
Yeah.
No arguments there.
But this movie, most of the successful formulas for the rest of the DC movies, or not DC movies, MCU movies, are established by this one. Like, after this one succeeds, so incredibly, they're like, okay, this is how we're going to have to do it.
My thing about this movie is, you can't all look at this movie, if you take away the fact that it is the cornerstone of the MCU, and look at it as a self-contained movie.
Where do you put Endgame on this list?
We'll get there. Yeah, I think that's why I rated higher than that.
See, well, 22, we're already past 22 in my list, so Endgame for me was higher than this. This movie, it is good. That's why I put it, not at the very bottom. It made it out of the bottom 5th.
Yeah, it's the best Iron Man movie. It's still relatively highly. It's 21, 22.
It does good things, like the scenes where he's building his first real suit in the garage, and he's got the robot arms that just keep extinguishing him when he's not on fire.
And he's like, don't.
Yeah, that shit's funny. I think Obadiah Stane could have been better. Now, I love Jeff Daniels. He is an amazing actor, and he was an excellent. I like Jeff Daniels too. But yes, Jeff
Jack Daniels.
Yes, Jeff Daniels is not in this movie.
Yeah,
he's in The Martian. Jeff Bridges, who is in this movie, who I also love, he is amazing.
he's criminally underused.
He is underused in this movie. If they'd done a little bit more with him to fill in the middle third of this movie is where it gets lost a bit, and that's where it loses points, because the first part where he's becoming Iron Man and freeing himself from the cave, that's good shit. That sets up Tony Stark.
Yep.
Middle third, it's just him building the suit and fucking around and making Terrence Howard's day a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And then it comes back again in the last thing.
Yeah.
But because it's not solid, each act is not solid for me together. It's not boom, 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 10, 10, 10. That's what brings it down. Yeah.
See, so where we were saying before that Iron Man is never right, this is, I think, the one exception. This is the one where he has a full character arc, where at the end he's come back and he's trying to make amends for his actions.
That's fair. That's fair.
I agree.
Yeah. But anytime anybody else is involved.
Most of the other time, he's the indirect antagonist.
Most of the time. And I forget, I know they did it on purpose, but I forgot how douchey he is in the opening scene.
Yeah, he's a despicable human being.
Absolutely. He's not a ton better.
Yeah, he thinks Stan Lee is Larry King.
But just...
2008, would you be able to pick Stan Lee out of a lineup?
Yeah.
We're wrong.
I'd seen all that.
In 2008, I bet I could recognize Larry King better than I could recognize Stan Lee. But I could be like, well, that's not Larry King.
By exclusion.
I may not know who that man is, but...
Anyway.
All right, moving on. I think you're all...
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah!
Number
What are we gonna do for the rest of this?
Oh, I nailed it.
You did nail it.
Brian did nail it.
Boom.
I had this one a little higher.
Oh, also that last one was the first single digit with Brian hitting Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's true. Yeah.
Because you were wrong.
True.
I wonder what the first number 1 is going to be.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be.
I think we're going to be pretty.
I think there's going to be a match.
There's a lot of parody up the top. It's fine.
But yeah, Captain Marvel. I enjoyed it. I put it pretty solidly in my middle third of the list.
It's literally in your top 10.
Yep.
It is.
But it has some misses. The end gets a little bit clunky.
That was the only part that I liked.
But
and again, being a white male is maybe a problem.
You don't have to preface your statement.
What? No, because
we're sitting among your friends. It's fine.
But there are streamers watching.
I think
There are people that could watch this VOD.
One person.
You're right.
It's your brother.
I absolutely hate.
He says Young Fury stealing the show.
True, but I absolutely hate all of a sudden, I'm just a girl playing. That was the stupidest fight scene in the MCU. I hated that.
It's not a great needle drop.
It was real bad.
No, they were stuck in that 80s, 90s music.
It was so
Right.
bad.
Yeah.
That took me so far out of.
Still mad about it.
It's so bad. Like, I haven't rewatched it because I'm like, I don't want to get to that part. It's so dumb.
I don't put this one higher, mostly because this is like all the middle ones for me. It's a lot of these are like origin stories, and
yeah.
this also comes at a time. It's at the end of phase 2. Or is it phase
This is right
3?
before Endgame.
This was
is
yeah,
phase
this
three.
was phase
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, so like
This was at the tail end of
the
phase 3.
origin story formula, like in the first Ant-Man, it really feels out of place because the first like origin story after like a lot of sequels, and then this one also felt very much like that. Like Black Panther came out before, but we'd already seen that character.
Yeah, he got introduced first.
Yeah, but this one, it felt like a big step back in momentum because it was an origin story.
Yeah.
Well, and it's weird because it's an origin story for a character that they intentionally shelved because she's too OP.
Yeah.
So they're all like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel, she's here, she's badass. And then
Yeah.
like in the Avengers movies, like she's too badass though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
So they send her off world for as long as they can,
yeah.
and then she comes back and goes pew pew. Oh no!
I won.
Yeah.
Like as a character, she's very cool, and I kind of
Yes.
wish, like, I feel like this would be a lot different if she'd filled like the Doctor Strange niche.
Mm.
Like if she
If
was
she
there
more
instead of
mystical,
Strange.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or just earlier. You know, like
That could
they-
be the thing too. Yeah.
like because they
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that movie came earlier too, so yeah.
yeah.
Well, they couldn't very well have a movie with a female lead.
Yeah.
It was so untested.
Oh god.
What are
Phase-
women?
They couldn't experiment with that until phase 3.
Yeah.
And
But I love
They
Carol
didn't have any
Danvers.
good characters until.
Carol Danvers is like one of my favorite comic characters.
Yeah.
And I was so hyped when they announced this movie,
Mhm.
and then so when I watched this movie
Yeah.
because I was like, man, Carol is awesome and has lots of like depth to her character and has all these like struggles. Like she's one of the only like superheroes with an addiction problem who isn't named Tony Stark, but she deals with it in a lot more, I don't know,
Just
like an
different.
adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. And also her power set is badass.
Yep.
And they don't let her like do anything until the final third act of the movie where she like fucking rips a starship in half. And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
She's gonna kick Thanos' ass. And
Yeah.
I was really getting ready for that. And then in Endgame, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're totally right
Denver's
about
too OP. Denver's banned.
yeah.
From Lottie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also, like, for some reason, people like just hate the existence of Captain Marvel. There's like this whole weird cottage industry of sentient beards on YouTube, and
Oh,
all
yeah.
talking about how much they don't
That's
like.
because
They don't like Brie Larson.
Yeah.
well,
I
that-
love it.
that-
I like
there-
Brie
Andy
Larson. I
Adams.
like Captain Marvel as a character. I
There's
liked most of the movie.
there's still people that are mad that Carol Danvers is Captain Marvel, and that's been around for
That's been-
a
yeah.
minute.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah. Those people are sexist. And
A lot of those others are probably the same.
probably the same. And like, I don't know, I think I've heard argument that Brie Larson was maybe miscast. Like, she's a great actress, but maybe
think
not
she
for
was
this
great.
movie. I disagree. Yeah, I think she was
She does a
great.
great
I think she was
I have
fine.
a strong opinion on it.
I
one way or the other.
can't
Yeah.
think of anyone who was like, no, you know who should have been Captain Marvel?
You know who
Yeah.
should have been on wires
Emma
pretending to
Stone.
fly the whole time?
Yeah.
Would have done a way
Oh,
better job.
see, yeah, no. So
Yeah.
now that you've thrown out literally
Gina
any other
Carano.
actress,
Wait.
no.
Uh,
But yeah, like Emma Stone. I like Emma Stone. She's not a super.
I don't know that Emma
Like,
Stone
would it
is
have been any
bad.
better? No. Like, I just picked the first person I thought was a blonde woman. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, when I first heard the casting, I was like, Envy Adams is going to be Captain Marvel, one of the strongest
Hell
superheroes
yeah.
ever. That seems weird to me.
Hell yeah.
But she was awesome.
Yeah.
And I've seen her Instagrams.
Yeah.
She works out all the goddamn time
Yeah.
for this role and still
does.
does. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, she was great. Like, yeah, costume design was great. The Rambo family was great. Like adding them,
Mhm.
Young Fury was great.
Yeah, CGI Young Fury.
Fury.
Fury. I don't love Smooth
I
Fury.
don't love Smooth Fury. Like,
I was
but,
like, I don't like this.
like it's Samuel L. Jackson, so you're just like,
Well, he's-
I'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Sam, but
Yeah.
like that's a technology that I don't want to see in more movies.
I agree.
I don't want.
And it's in a good solid like 30% of the Marvel movies already. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten.
who are we gonna smooth this
Yeah,
time?
we've gotten smooth. We've gotten smooth Hank Pym.
Oh,
We've
no.
gotten smooth.
Criminal.
Smooth. Let's see. I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
it's smooth
Smooth our
because he
moms.
doesn't look like his
Nope.
husband. We had this conversation.
No,
Our-
yeah,
Oh, we had smooth ego.
smooth
Smooth
ego.
Ego.
Smooth ego.
Yeah, he was all. Yeah, when we were rewatching these, there were a couple of characters, especially like I'm blanking on the names, but the guy who played Ego and the guy who played Hank Pym. Those are two dudes who they've made their careers on Michael Douglas, thank you, who are on strong jaws. But the face changes as you get older, and they just sort of mapped young face over old man jaw.
It's not good.
And it's just like, oh, his face is too wide. It's too wide. Give me Snake Plissken. Bring that back.
Yeah. Ego was Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, thank you.
Let's go to 15.
Criminally
Yeah.
underrated.
Oh,
Criminally underrated
yes.
actor.
I don't know. This movie was
Might
pretty.
not have one.
This
Korath, Demon Hansu.
Yeah, Korath.
Timon Hansu.
More
I love
Korath,
Timon
which
Hansu.
we
Yep.
got more
Good
Korath in this than any other movie, but
Yeah.
more.
Or the cat. The alien cat
Goose.
is also
Give
good.
me more Goose.
Goose is
Yeah.
loose.
So whatever happened to Goose after the end credits scene?
I don't know.
he'll come back.
The
later
old-
in
the
his
old
own
Fury
movie.
probably put him on the
Yeah.
raft.
He'll get his own movie to be better, but
That's
better than
true.
Black Widow.
Picture the goose first.
He's the only person who's ever truly
Number
wounded
15.
Nick Fury.
That's true. Broke it there. Captain Marvel.
Nope, Endgame.
All right, I have some
Yeah.
explaining to do.
Yeah, take away Sean.
Okay.
Sean, what the hell?
How far up?
Hammer time! We talked about this! Alright, so like to note, Sean and I are clearly,
Holy
as the numbers
crap.
show, on very opposite sides of this argument.
That's a pretty wide thing.
All right.
Wow.
You
Right.
yeah, you
Mick and
three,
Brian are right in the middle.
yeah, you
Yeah.
three pretty in the middle,
Yeah.
but then
David
there.
and I are both cranky.
I know that no one else likes the time heist. I don't mind it, and it has so many really good moments. And I just, it's the culmination of the 20 movies that were before it. I have to give it credit for that. And fucking Hammer Time.
I agree that Hammer Time, like, for me, yeah, it's so low because it is a great series
That's a
of
Star Wars
scenes. Yeah, it's a great series of scenes.
Not a great one.
That is not connected by anything useful. And then there are so many problems, like the big epic fight scene at the end is great, but we have shit like Carol Danvers showing up, kicking ass, and then
Then
doing
And then being
anything.
like, I have to give the gauntlet to Spider-Man.
No, she takes it from
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, because she says,
Oh, yeah.
"Hey, Peter Parker, you got
She was the
something?"
one that was going to get it over there.
Yeah.
And then Thanos was smart enough to like pull a ring off it, or a stone off it, and bop her in the face.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And then she's sidelined for the rest of the movie.
Well, you see the rest. That's when Iron Man shows up and
Yeah,
Yeah.
the rest of the movie
was
Oh,
3
yeah,
seconds.
yeah. But that's the thing. It's just like, and then I don't.
She was signed
I
up
will.
for the
I will
Before
say that
Yes.
I do not like that Iron Man is
the hero.
the hero. I do not like that.
I'm
Again,
pleased the captain didn't die.
No, well, that's the thing. I don't know, but
One of them had to.
and then well, one of them had to,
Well,
and
they
that,
both had
that
to,
one was apparently Black Widow,
That
who
I
did
still don't have a problem
who
with
I'm
it.
didn't
still mad
get a
about
funeral.
Yeah, dude.
she didn't get a
No, she
funeral.
got a
Tony
funeral.
has a-
The fact that
She got 5 guys sad on a dock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The whole crew of bench.
She didn't get a
That,
funeral.
yeah, that was as
That's
close as
awful.
she got to a funeral.
But the fact that she got to sacrifice herself for her family the way she wanted to,
Right.
I don't hate. I don't
Like,
hate
no,
that they let her have
Yeah,
that.
that part I don't hate, but then the rest of the movie is just like, well, she did.
Yeah, that sucks, but you know.
Yeah.
As a theater going experience and a moment of catharsis, it was awesome. Like if we were
Yeah.
rating this in like movie going experiences, it would be my number one.
I agree.
Because like nothing is going to be better than like buying 20 tickets to opening day in IMAX and trying to coordinate with you all and like who's going to sit where and
Yeah.
like, showing up to the theater early and throwing a blanket over like a whole section of seats to save them because I like left work early so that I could be there and save seats for everybody. Like that was fucking dope as hell.
Yeah.
And then being
And
like,
there's
ew, I don't want to sit next to Ian. Can you facilitate this?
And there's like
And
probably,
he did.
and there's probably never ever going to be another movie event like that ever.
Yeah.
So I don't hate your 3 vote. Like
Yeah.
it is
No,
like culturally
Yeah.
an immense touchstone.
Mm.
Did I like the movie? I liked it quite a bit, but it had a bunch of flaws, and when I rewatched it, it didn't hit me the same way.
And I will say, like, some of the individual scenes, like Hammer Time,
Hammer Time's
awful.
great. Yeah.
Hammer
Yeah.
Time is
can we
amazing.
expand on Hammer Time?
Hammer Time
This
is
has come
when
up several times, but
Steve
I-
Do
Rogers,
you not know
like,
anything about Hammer Time?
at the very towards in the big fight scene,
Yeah.
Thor's shown up. He's got his axe. He has since gone back in time and come back to get Mjolnir,
Yeah.
which time paradox we're gonna gloss over. Whatever, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And there is a point where somewhere in the middle of all this, Mjolnir goes away.
It gets
his
knocked
fight.
away by
By
Thanos' sword, essentially, just like
Yeah.
bats it away.
And then out of
Stop.
nowhere,
And he's
It
Thor's
comes
down on
back.
the ground with his own axe in Thanos' hand being pressed into his chest.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
which
you
is a
see-
callback to the callback to Infinity.
to Infinity War, yeah. And then you see the hammer start to shake, and it pops up, and you're like, oh, it's going to Thor. And it flies past Thor into Captain America's hand. And that is the most cathartic thing I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
And Thor feels the same because he's there almost dying, and he's like, I fucking knew it. I'm so happy. And I
And
had to
just-
rewatch Ultron
Mm-hmm.
for the party scene
elevator
where Cap moves it. No, Cap is, they're all going around like, who can lift the hammer?
It
Cap
wiggles.
is the only one who budges it. And it's really quick, but you see Chris Hemsworth as Thor go, oh shit.
Yeah, he loses his cool for a second.
And it's a hammer, but watching
Watching Cap be sword and board is awesome.
watching him sword and board,
Yeah.
it's like
great.
considering the characters I like in video games and RPGs and stuff, that is everything I've ever wanted.
You do have a tattoo of a hammer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And like watching him sword and board his way and beat the shit out of it. Because again, yes, he's a super soldier, but like he doesn't have all this tech and like he's not the most powerful thing in the world.
Yeah, he's not as strong as Thanos or Thor.
Right. And just watching him whoop his ass for a little bit was so good.
It was.
So, I
And-
mean, I will admit that individual 3-minute scene probably flavors a lot of my opinion of this movie. Also, my favorite line in the entire movie is, that is Captain America. That is American
That is-
Dad.
Yeah. So here's the
there,
question.
there are great scenes, and like every scene that Thor is in, I love.
Mm.
I love him going back in time
Mhm.
to see his dead mom knowing that she's gonna die.
My favorite part was when Thor dabbed, or Hulk dabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Thor getting that catharsis with his mom, and then calling Mjolnir over, and he's like, I'm overweight, I'm
still
depressed, but I'm still worthy. I am still good. I'm like, yeah, you are, buddy.
Biggest character.
All right, Brian.
All right, yeah, what?
So I have a question for Sean.
Okay.
Would you rather watch this movie for 3 hours,
Mhm.
or just the loop of the Captain America? Worthy of Hammer Time.
Now, so
Oh,
I
Luke.
have gone back and I've found YouTube videos of people like sitting in theaters watching it so that you hear the crowd reaction.
Yeah,
Oh, it's real good.
yeah.
10 hours
So
of
just-
time.
Would you rather watch the 3-hour Endgame
I'd
or
rather watch the
just
entire movie.
crowd reactions?
The entire
for 3
movie.
hours? Okay.
Because it leads to it. Yeah. So
I mean, I think for us in the middle, I think we can agree it's a good movie.
It's great, yeah.
It's a great movie, but I think for
yeah,
me,
you and I talked
it's
about
in the
this.
middle because
we have had this argument off camera
Yeah.
many times.
like for me, it's not higher or lower because great movie, lots of payoffs over a decade of movies. It's certainly an event
Mm.
that cannot be recaptured, but rewatchability, it's just kind of like you kind of need to see it with Infinity War.
Oh,
to have,
well,
like,
it's a two-parter.
Yeah.
It's
I
part-
do love time travel, and I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
All right,
But-
let's
and-
move on to 14,
and-
which is
Wait,
the
wait, wait, wait.
50%.
Can we take a break first?
We could.
Yeah.
We
Me
could.
too.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we're at 15, moving into
14
14.
is
We're
the
going. We're
exact
going.
midpoint.
Yeah, we're going into
Yeah,
the top
this
of the
would be a good
list.
time.
All right, yeah, we will take a quick break. Re-beverage, empty, all that good stuff. Take a stretch, and we will be back in just a couple minutes.
Sweet.
Anyone in the chat?
We got at the very least we got Aaron and Gibby.
Aaron, and
I'll
give
give you some.
Yeah, we got a few people. We don't have our Monday crowd. but we got
one Monday.
a few people.
5 hit is like kind of just falling off. As far
Well,
as,
I don't know.
I'm
It's
sorry that I keep saying it, Nick. I just don't want people
I
to
don't
come
know,
scream at
it's-
me because, like, you hate Captain Marvel. No, I don't. I just hate one scene.
it's like I don't know. 5-hit list as far as viewership is like 50-50 because there are a lot of people who don't want to just jump into the middle of the game.
Yeah, because I mean, it's more accessible.
But
that
yeah,
way.
if we're sitting here going like,
Hello,
yeah,
child.
we'll talk about sandwiches.
May I? May I? Yeah. Oh, there we go.
What is our most important one?
So I think what it is, you give that pet on head and her shoulder. If you go past that, you get confused and fights.
For sure.
Went for it.
I think as far as you
Sound
good.
Yeah.
Christmas stuff so far gets the most like rewatches. So.
The stream is stuck on the logo again.
That's because I didn't.
Wait,
put it
the
on
stream-
screen.
Can still hear us.
No, they can't. That's why I got distracted. I got distracted muting us and forgot to do the next
Y'all
step.
need billboards.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Gibby is letting us know.
I do enjoy online being.
Thank you, Gibby.
Thank you, Gibby.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's because I didn't want to redo the whole board.
Yeah.
Oh. She doesn't do that thing where if you sat for a while and you leave the opening, boom, right in your spot.
Yeah. Warm. I want it. After us will do that. I'll get up to the bathroom and all of that. I'll come back and just like laying my stomach. And I'll try and move it. No, I can't. I'm willing to give a little walking. I can't move it along. No bone. It's a no bone day.
Well, this soccer game saying no bones this, no bones that.
That's actually how it started the world. I was in the chat room with Nick and Tom. She goes, oh, it's midnight. Oh! I think you got it.
I don't think I did it.
I think you got something.
No.
No more photography. Are these just tiny coasters?
No, those are. I mean, they're actually part of like these things here. These like risers here. You can use them to interlock them, but we found that then they kind of like they're not super stable. So I just.
So earlier today, I found out that there's a Facebook integrated bot. You can just put it on the site.
What?
Put it on almost to see how many messages there are.
Because we know.
Not going to be a sustainable program.
So I think you integrated like the one with the Facebook accounts, but
But you can also do lists.
okay.
So like you can message the page. So when you go to full post,
So you've got to get like a customer service team in on this.
I think I'm just going to turn it on.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting experience. You like the chat bubbles?
Well, the movement's gonna have yeah.
Yeah.
I was like the other day years old when the 80s like online handle for drawing stuff with just a guy on it. I was all like, hi, yeah. Stop writing.
Wait, why is it online view?
No,
Why would you add the flavor of view?
because it's probably just like someone. You can really taste the bugle.
I need that French view.
We still had audio on during the break.
That's what gives me.
Yeah, that's what everyone was saying to me.
Oh wait, they can still hear us.
Right now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're still live?
My God,
It's
stream.
lower. The music is covering it, but it's still picking us up.
Now you know all our secrets.
Did I turn off the music and not
No, the music's going, but we're just not muted.
Sup, stream?
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, we need a producer. God damn it.
Yep.
Oh,
No, you muted.
this one's good.
Hello,
It's the lightning
and
round.
we're back. It's almost the lightning round.
No introductions.
No introduction.
Get right to
No,
it.
it's us. You've been watching the whole time. It's
14.
fine.
Number
I'm
14.
No, number 14. We had to pee. Hope you enjoyed listening to everything. I hit the wrong button.
Hey.
We need a producer.
Twice.
You got the deep thoughts on our channel.
All right, number
That's-
14,
Hey, I finally got one.
Doctor Strange.
Hey.
Yeah, we were all pretty close on this one with one exception. Mark.
Hey, look.
Two
Look,
people
I
like
think it's because I was thinking about how much Tony Stark sucks.
Mhm.
I was thinking about how much Strange sucks.
Mm.
And they don't try to make apologies for. Well, yeah, they do.
They do.
But not as bad. I don't know. Tony, they're like, you like Tony Stark, right? I don't know.
The funny thing is, people do love Tony Stark.
I like Doctor Strange more than I like Tony
Pretty
Stark.
much
I've had less
Drax is
exposure.
Just like
I
an
like the
actor
part of
that
it.
does things.
People like, what do you call him? Rick.
It's true. See, for me, yeah, like this one's good. And yeah, I like that it is just like, yeah, it's another Tony Stark style, you know, jerk.
I like that he hates Tony Stark. Like I like that they
That
don't get
does make
along
it
because they're
better.
both so shitty.
Yeah. They see a lot of each other in themselves and they don't want to admit
Cracking white guys fighting.
it. Except Doctor Strange may have learned from his experiences, like, you know, jury's still out.
He's also got the benefit of zipping through time to see more experiences.
Tony Stark, I've come to bargain.
This does have an amazing climax.
It does.
It does.
Yeah,
It
that
does.
is a great
And
moment.
it's a very good. It's superhero-y because he's time traveling and flying into another dimension and shit. But at the same time, it's just clever.
Criminally underused character.
Mads Mickelson.
The cloak.
Dormammu.
The
Oh,
cloak.
it's what
Well, Dormammu is just Benedict Cumberbatch again.
Yeah.
True.
He is.
Can we talk about the horrible miscast of Tilda Swinton as?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah.
I was so confused because like I love Tilda Swinton,
Me
but
too.
this was the wrong. What were?
Yeah.
What?
Nothing against Tilda Swinton, but
Should she have a Wes Anderson movie she could be starring in?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, come on.
like
Could be an
Ancient
Isle
One. Come on, it's like how can you? There's no excuse for whitewashing that role.
No,
Zero.
not really.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
that does
No,
does bring
it's
it
not
down a
good.
bit, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's another origin story, so it's right in the middle for me.
Yeah. I like that it was an origin story that jumped in there pretty well. Oh, and this was another vote that I had against Eternals, coincidentally. There are only 2 movies in the MCU that use Pink Floyd in their soundtracks. Doctor Strange did it well. Eternals did not.
what was the needle drop in Doctor Strange?
Interstellar Overdrive, when he gets dressed and he flies off in his Lamborghini down the road. That's the beginning of Interstellar Overdrive. Off
Okay,
of
wouldn't have known that.
it's a deep cut. It's a real deep cut for sure. And
But it was an Ian targeted deep
oh,
cut.
it was
yeah, like,
fantastic.
Ian and I were like, it's that
I'm like-
folk song.
I'm like, yeah, I hear it starting. It's like dun 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 dun, and like they're going through his watches and they're all spinning, and then it just breaks into the song. And I'm like,
And the only reason I know about it is because Ian likes it so much.
yes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they throw Time, which is a much bigger hit for Pink Floyd, into the Eternals,
It's a good song.
and it's a good song, and it doesn't work though because they try to use it in like a look at how much time has passed for the Eternals kind of moment, and it's just like you don't say.
It's a long time.
I think, yeah, like the use of Interstellar Overdrive in this movie, yeah, because it was such a deep cut, most people didn't get it,
Most
but
people.
Ian did, and he was pleased.
Yep.
Like,
I liked it.
it made Ian happy,
like
and that's why I like
There,
Doctor
I'm not
Strange.
I'm not a big comic book reader. Like I'm the most of these
Well, I can't
characters. No, that's fair. This is one of this like these
can't
movies
do it.
are my introduction to most of these characters. So it's just like when there's some other nerdy deep cut in there, some other nerdy trivia or something they throw in there that's not comic book related but speaks to me. I'm just like, okay,
Oh, this one's for me.
you guys made this one for me. I get it.
All right, let's move on.
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
All right, we're in the top half now.
Top half.
We're in the end game.
Number 13.
We're in
Number
the end
8 is
game
the
now.
top 10.
Lucky 13.
Number 13.
What did I-
The Infinity War, I think.
It is
Nope.
Spider-Man Far From Home. which
Sure.
I nailed.
Yeah. It is the worst of the Spider-Mans.
That's true.
It's a good. It fills the gap in the story that needed filling, needed telling, needed explaining. It's like, what does the world do without Tony Stark? pretty much the same shit it did before Tony Stark.
He's dead, yay!
I have weird feelings about this because my favorite Jake Gyllenhaal role was the one from Sack Lunch Bunch, where he's just the music guy that wants music to happen but doesn't.
Yeah, it's just depressed, like, children's entertainer. Shit doesn't go right for. And, like, I mean, there's a lot of things like that. It answers a lot of questions, but it also raises questions like, why the hell did Tony Stark make another army of drones?
One of the things
And give them to a child.
one of the things I do not like about it
Homie makes bad decisions.
is that he's like this Tony Stark protege instead of just this kid that's just a genius on his own. Like somehow genius can't happen without Tony Stark in the MCU. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that you're right that in the first 2 movies that hits a little bit harder. I think they step away from it a little bit in the third.
They
finally,
do. The
but-
third one I like better.
I like the third one a lot.
Yeah, everyone's great.
Yeah, third one hasn't shown up on the list, so
Gonna
that
happen.
Yeah, it's got it's.
We're gonna yell about that too.
But yeah,
Okay.
it's good. It's good. It's not bad.
Yeah,
Criminally underrated actor.
Jake.
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, see the great.
Yeah.
The music guy. It's
Actually, fucking what's his name? Jonah Jameson.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, his,
J.K. Simmons.
J.K.
Oh,
Simmons
yeah.
rebranded as an Alex Jones. When that scene was revealed in the theater, I lost my shit.
yeah.
Like
So
this
good.
easily jumped several numbers based on that alone because it was like that is a fucking genius.
Yeah, because
So I
that's
was
what
hung
Jonah
up on-
Jameson would be today.
Like, yeah, so I was hung up on that because it's very appropriate, and yeah, that's what we would see today, but sometimes things hit too close to home,
Yeah,
and
too
I'm
real.
just like, ah,
I guess
gross.
I guess I did complain earlier about 9/11.
Well, this was
I mean,
this
it's
was in a
weird.
brighter time
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie came out. We were on the cusp of very dark times.
I do really enjoy that the entire time all of us were like, well, Monsieur's a fucking bad guy. What is happening here? Why is he? What is? And then the bar
Yeah,
scene
yeah.
happened. Pound for good. I really enjoyed that.
I do like that they tied together. It's another Tony Stark revenge story,
Hmm.
but I like how they tied together Mysterio's
Stupid
entire
Tony.
crew.
Yeah.
It's actually drunk, Tony.
Entire
Yeah.
crew are just people that Tony Stark screwed over in
Mhm.
life.
Yeah.
I also don't love the message coming from a mega corporation that like socialism is bad. We should kill them with drones.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, not great.
Thanks, Disney.
Thanks, Disney.
I do want to point out that all the Spider-Man movies are in the top half, and all the Iron Man movies.
Hey, you want to
I
watch?
just want to point that out.
Yeah,
Also, they had a lot more time to like get into their swing with these.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
That's true.
I will
Proud of
say,
yourself?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll save it. I'll save it for when we do the first.
I still
one.
think you all are wrong about the first Iron Man.
You can think that.
All right, number
Number one.
12.
I was the closest to
Number-
your vote. Yeah,
OG,
Marvel the Avengers.
OG Avengers.
Okay, yeah. it's
Avengers.
fine.
I have some explaining to do again.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Yeah, so yeah, this time the three at this end of the table back on a consensus again.
Mhm.
You know, middling movie.
20?
And then, but yeah, like I feel like you two have some explaining to do here.
I don't think I do. Avengers is a
great.
great movie.
Okay.
I know
I'll
this.
take that drink.
This
now.
was the first. This was the first like
Is this the Panther
event movie.
It is.
Like, I feel like if we're making the case of Endgame being so
I can
great,
give you a can if you want. Anyway, sorry.
I feel like if we're making the case of Endgame being so great because it was a big event movie, this was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this in theaters
Yeah.
8 times because I
Good
couldn't get over the
God.
hype. I could not get over the hype. It was someone even like did the math at the time, like all the main 6 have almost equal screen time. Like that's ridiculous balance. I think they did an amazing job bringing everyone together and like making 2 of the characters who've only really been cameos like fuller characters.
Part of the
Like,
team, yeah.
yeah.
I would
Great
say
movie.
because
This is Black Widow's best movie.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Like because of how
It'll be
it's
fun.
it's broken up. Like Hawkeye does get a short end of the stick as a
Mhm.
character. He gets a lot of screen time, but for half of it, he's just a drone.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then he's Hawkeye.
I think the only thing that holds this one back for not necessarily me, but I think for a lot of people is Joss Whedon.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Joss.
Yeah.
It hasn't aged well because of that, but I think this is the best thing he's ever made.
I would agree with that.
I don't. It's tough to retcon your feelings about things when
Yeah.
someone turns out to be shitty. Like
Right.
Harry Potter is a good example of that.
Yeah.
So like it's really hard to just look back and be like, no, all those feelings and emotions that I had are now invalid because that dude sucks.
Yeah.
it's hard to do that. So I don't fault anybody for not doing it. I also don't fault anybody for doing it. It's an unenviable position.
Yeah.
That being said, it was fine.
Yeah,
It was
fine.
fine.
It was good.
It was good.
It had the action. It had the drama. It did set the. It was the first one to say, well, what if the Avengers all fought each other? I am not huge on how they
Now all
continue to
the
do
movies
that
are
every
that.
single time. Like there is yet to be an Avengers movie without a party split at some point.
Yeah,
But I think that's an important part of the team, though. I think that's
yeah,
what's cool about it.
It is, but it's the sort of thing where like it's they're fighting, they're gonna make up. They're fighting, they're gonna make up. Civil War is the only one where that wasn't a guarantee because it's Civil War.
Yeah. I don't. So the reason this one's so low for me is I prefer the smaller cast movies. I know that's funny after to talk about Endgame, but Endgame had a lot of like really cathartic moments for me. But the movies that have more focused attention, I tend to like more.
Yeah, that tends to make the stories more cohesive and
Right.
all that sort of stuff. But yeah,
But this one falls into like the Iron Man camp for me, where I'm
Yeah.
just like, it was one of the first. It was very well done.
Mhm.
I like it. It's still better than most other movies out there,
Yep.
but it's still 20.
But it has less characters in it than Endgame, which you voted for.
Yeah, but Endgame has less characters on screen at certain times. Like it's a series of vignettes.
Let's move on.
We're gonna get, this has the smallest Avengers cast,
Right.
period.
But okay,
Like,
all right.
Ultron's got 8 in the Avenger, or no. if you
And Ultron was
if
right
you
next to
count
us.
War Machine, that's 9.
Yeah. Falcons there too.
Yeah, that's 10. And then, like,
So-
Nick
Twins are
Fury.
there,
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Ultron was right next to this. They were right next to each other. And I've said over and over again that Endgame is only so high because of like the Captain America theming. Like those are the things that I like the most. So
Speaking of Captain America, he hasn't shown up at all yet.
Yeah,
That's right.
So he might be really about to steal the
Might
show.
be the guy.
clean sweep.
So anyway, there are 3 things that both me and my parents were all in on that we can like really like relate on some level through. It's the first Iron Man movie, the Avengers, and the line video by Defunct Land. Like these are the things we bond over. So like there's some street cred there for that for sure.
Put the line video in.
I showed it.
ranking.
I showed it to them on
Kid number
Thanksgiving,
2.
and they're all like, my dad like messaged me a few weeks later, and was like, "Where can I find that? Who did that line video that you made us watch?"
If you ever want to do a 5-hit list on YouTube video essays,
Oh, yeah. We would just run that one. So.
All right, number 11.
Anyway,
Number 11.
We're almost in top 10.
Yeah, we're almost. Let's see. That's
All
what my number 11 was. Okay. Infinity War.
Yep.
Okay.
How is this higher than the first Avengers movie?
it's for
It's-
me because this was my number 5.
Yeah.
It's the culmination of. It's the beginning of the culmination of the last 10 years.
More characters than the first Avengers movie.
For me, it's because it's the
It's a-
Empire Strikes Back of the
Yes.
MCU.
And it's also a
I
more
really-
focused story.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie was super affecting on me. I really like all the action set pieces. I don't think anything for me, nothing feels like chaff. Nothing feels out of place. It just feels really, really tight.
Mm-hmm.
The scenes flow together really well. And again, like the ending is devastating.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that it's gonna work out because it's
It's
a
part
Marvel
one of a part
like
two.
nobody,
Yeah.
they
Owned
could.
by Disney.
The Avengers can't lose. You know.
yeah, you just watch the fade, and it's like, no,
Or
you're
can
too
they?
marketable.
Yeah, it's like, I know that you have three more movies in the pipeline. You're not.
Yeah. There's a part 2 to this? Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I still really, really liked it.
How much would it have sucked to have like 8 Black Widows after this?
Well, and
All
I
these
think
characters are gone.
this movie, like, I put it a little lower just because there's stuff that pushes it down. But yeah, this I will watch Infinity War over and over.
Mhm.
I won't watch Endgame over and over, but I will like Infinity War has gotten a fair number of rewatches for me. Like,
So this confirms that all 3 Captain America movies are in the top 10.
Yep.
sure does.
That's
It does.
pretty cool.
Dope. I will say that like I like this one better than Endgame because even though it's a culmination like Endgame, I feel like it's more rewatchable because that battle against Thanos is I think
So good.
cooler.
On the planet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
the
think
battle-
that's
the
cooler than
battle
the last one.
On the planet and just in Wakanda.
it does
yeah,
the
it's
Star
like-
Wars thing.
it's
2
so
battles
good.
at the same time.
Yeah, and it does it really well. Yeah.
More battle per battle.
You get
Yeah.
more battles per battle.
Yeah. And also this is the best Doctor Strange movie.
so
Yep.
far.
Doctor Strange
Yeah.
is incredible in this movie.
Yeah, he's good. Well, he
I-
gets
what
to
about-
he gets to do
No, I know.
stuff.
What about Spider-Man?
No Way Home. Yeah, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, he gets dad cred in that
It's,
movie.
it's tight. It's tight. It's,
But this
very
one,
good in
This one made me really like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Then I was like, holy shit, he is serious business.
Yeah.
Cool, yeah.
And yeah, it's just like there are some things like that. that the scene where Thor comes back, and even though they had like Mark Ruffalo's
you're
face,
all
it's like,
dead
"You're all
now."
screwed now. And it's just like, oh shit, yeah, the actual like superhuman superhero lightning god is back. Oh, okay.
And then Rocket's like hanging out with Winter Soldier. How much for the gun? I'll get that gun.
No, it's ours.
It's ours.
Oh, he asked for
It's
the arm?
ours.
Oh, it's the arm first,
Yeah.
then he asked for the gun, right?
Yeah.
I love that
But
Rocket
he's-
will let Thor call him Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just lets him do it because he likes
Like,
Thor.
yeah.
Yeah, and like Winter Soldier and Rocket like spinning around as like machine gunning things.
Well, I like that the Winter Soldier Rocket pairing just happens right away, and he's just like, whatever. I've seen weirder shit today.
Yeah. More Rocket all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Zelda. Yeah,
Rocket.
Zelda did
That
come here
also-
at a spicy time. Hi,
Yes.
Zelda.
It
Oh,
also does
that-
confirm that both Guardians are in the top.
They fucking better be.
You know-
I was.
You don't need
You were gonna be upset if they
I
were top 10.
I said that I would eat an onion. All Guardian movies weren't in the top 10.
Yeah.
safe.
We
I'm
got
still
that.
taste
confused. That's
buds
just a
thing.
thing people do. I don't know.
There's an
that.
onion in the fridge. We were waiting. We were ready.
All right, top 10. Let's
No,
go.
it's my
Yeah,
idea.
number 10.
All right.
Civil War.
All right. Let's see. So we're voting Civil War.
Yeah.
No.
First
Captain
Avengers.
First
Avenger.
Avenger. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think Civil War is a little stronger.
Yeah, this for me was one of the best of the origin stories.
It's
If not,
think it
actually,
is
I
the
would say
best.
Yeah, I think it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hits on some like it's Indiana Jones esque. It's like it's got a lot of like
Gotta
like
kill
in
the
that,
Nazis.
well and that whole like yes here's what you are, go and do the thing,
Mm.
march around on stage, and he's like, yeah, I got no.
Okay.
Nah.
No. And just
I'm
yeah,
gonna go
like,
punch some Nazis instead.
His crew was so damn cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yep.
man.
there's just so many good lines in it, and like the I'm drawing blanks on all the actors, but
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones, great. But now the dude who plays the doctor,
Eric
Toby?
Bana.
the good doctor. No,
Oh, the good doctor.
The
I'm
good
just
doctor.
naming.
Oh,
The German
his
guy.
name gets- yeah,
Stanley Tucci.
yeah, Stanley
Yeah.
Tucci.
Tucci.
He was
Tucci.
he was great.
He's the criminally underrated.
He's criminally underrated, but
Yeah.
he did have to get shot.
It's true.
But yeah, just like all of his lines are great.
Yep.
Everything that comes out of his mouth is great.
And that moment where he's dying and he just taps
Taps him
Steve
the
on
shoulder.
the
Good
chest.
man.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do really love that he goes running after this like Russian agent, runs through the streets, jumping from cars and stuff. Was it German?
German.
Yeah. but-
German. Running through the streets, jumping from things, jumps down in, punches the screen like the window of a sub, pulls the guy out,
Barefoot.
barefoot, he
Yeah.
dies, and then Tommy Lee Jones, I have no use for you.
Yeah.
What?
I also love that sequence because he doesn't know his body yet, so he runs so fast that he can't
He's like,
control
for
it.
real?
He can't turn. Yeah.
Oh, I like like the stuff like the kid gets thrown off. The Nazi spy has the kid and throws the kid into the river, and the kid's like, "I can swim." Like,
It's fine,
yeah,
I
you're,
can swim.
you're
You're a
from
kid.
Manhattan. Of course you can.
You're a kid. You're a kid in the 40s where there's nothing else to do.
yeah, they're like, yeah, it's fine. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. And then he's like, okay, all right, go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tommy
that
Lee
moment's
Jones
awesome.
just talking about like immediately after he's just like the senator's like, how could you let this happen? And Tommy Lee Jones like, let's talk about how a Nazi spy came to my secret base in your car.
Good deal.
Cold.
Yeah.
Great movie.
It's
Yeah.
a great movie.
It's a
Yeah.
great
really
movie.
good.
And,
it
yeah, not
makes you like the Shield.
yeah, makes me like the Shield.
Wield the shield.
We the only movie to have a Nazi punching montage.
Yeah.
Like,
We also have a Nazi shooting montage. This is Captain America with a gun for most of
Yeah.
the movie.
yep, that's
Like
Yeah.
he's got the shield on his back, and he's got the Tommy in
Tommy,
front.
mhm,
Yeah.
Yep.
Or he's got the shield in one hand and
The 1911 and the other. Yeah.
Just like Nazi.
I really also
Nazi.
liked this, so the suit that he had, the one that was like more grounded in
This is the
reality.
best suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not about the best, but I really liked
I
it.
really
Yeah.
liked it. I like that. Yeah, later in one of the other movies that I'm sure we're gonna talk about in a minute, he steals this suit
Mhm.
Yeah.
to suit up. Like,
And like so my thing is that like I've always been kind of like a punk rock kid, not really into things that are super patriotic. But Cap is one of my faves.
Yeah.
Like somehow they bring
Well,
Yeah,
because
I think
he starts out being patriotic, but then he starts realizing, he's like, well, maybe it's not about patriotism. Maybe it's about morality.
Well, yeah, right. He's under that veneer of
Yeah.
like,
Right.
America.
Yeah, he
Right.
backs away from that relatively, well, in Winter Soldier, but
Still.
yeah. All right, let's
All
go.
right,
Number
what's
9.
the next-
Single digits.
What's the next Captain America movie?
I think it could be a Spider-Man.
I think it's the Civil War.
Black Panther.
What?
Hey,
Ooh,
Wait,
look,
Brian, what are you?
Sean
this can't
and-
be
I
right.
told you that Brian and I had some explaining to
Yeah,
do.
you two gentlemen.
This
What?
can't be right.
Gentlemen. Gentlemen.
It's an origin movie.
It's
It is,
What is
but it
It's an
is
origin movie.
because we already know his story.
But it's
Yeah.
dope as fuck.
yeah.
So for me, what I'll just say it right now. What brings this up to number 2 for me, and we'll just jump into the critically underused actor, M'Baku.
Baku.
Well, he's
M'Baku's
gonna be the Black Panther.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
ready.
no.
for it.
Well, because they have to fire Shuri for being anti-vax.
Right.
So,
It's too bad because I like
Let's
that
get-
guy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool too.
yeah, she was super cool, but but yeah, at the same time, M'Baku,
Black female Tony Stark was super cool.
like,
Um,
but yeah, this is
I remember
I would-
one of my favorite things about M'Baku was somebody was reading tweets,
Mhm.
and he read the tweet that M'Baku can break my back at or something like that.
Oh no!
Oh.
damn.
It was
Yeah,
real funny.
And the fact that they bring him back in Infinity War
Mhm.
to hold the line with all of these superheroes. He
Mhm.
fucking does.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Even, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
He's
hammered
the
them out.
badass
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, so why so low? for you?
Because it does the same thing as Iron Man and all these other movies where it's just like, all right, cool, the final boss. I love Killmonger. Killmonger is fantastic.
Right.
But like the final boss is just you in an orange suit instead of purple.
Yeah, it's a Darkling thing.
Yeah, and I don't love it.
It's pretty weak. Yeah.
I actually usually love that. I love when someone meets their match.
Mm.
But this was at a point where the saturation was too much for me. And plus I think the last battle in that cave on that train
Oh,
between the two
CGI
black
battle.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's really wonky at that point. And I don't know. I appreciate it. I know that it's such an important movie. But rewatchable wise, it's got a lot of dead spots for me.
Like Killmonger, I wish Killmonger didn't die. I wish
He's an
I
incredible
wish he
character.
could have learned the lesson without Killmonger having to die. Because Killmonger would have been a fantastic Winter Soldier-esque ally.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true, but yeah, the way they had Killmonger was you knew this guy wasn't gonna go down
Right.
or run away.
Which
or-
again is another situation where it's like, well, Killmonger's right and T'Challa is wrong.
Yeah.
So, but T'Challa has to win.
Yeah.
But he learns the lesson.
He learns his lesson.
It's like,
Mm.
we need revolution. I built a community center. Nah, T'Challa. This
Not
ain't it.
enough.
Yeah.
This ain't it, brother.
you bought a condemned building in Oakland. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the richest guy ever.
Alright.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
yeah,
I-
I still
Every number we get,
it's
I'm
so close.
we got number 2.
Yeah.
So who's the first number 1? That's I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, we're getting so close. All right, so let's see. It's got to be it's either one of the Guardians or the Spider-Man. We haven't talked about
Yeah.
Guardians at
The
all.
man
It's,
spider.
Oh, I'm gonna say volume 2 here.
It better-
Guardians?
Yeah.
I think it's Homecoming.
Well, let's see what it is.
What number did we just do? 9?
We
We
just
did 9.
Okay. so
Number
we're on
8.
That was on
Top
the-
8.
Oh, yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Number 27.
Oh,
Shang-Chi.
no, I audibled this.
Number 27.
Did you
Shang-Chi.
change that?
Yeah, I told you I audibled this to 10 because it should be
Oh, whoops.
because it's the 10 picks.
Well,
I don't think that would change the
Well,
ranking.
it wouldn't change the ranking very much. This movie was awesome, though.
It was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was way better than I had expected when I went into it.
Yep.
It was.
Is it-
I liked the visuals. I liked the imagery. I liked the characters were cool. Homie's name is Sean, sort of.
He picked Sean.
Yeah, right.
Changed his name from Shang to
To
Sean.
The supporting characters were fantastic. Like just
Aquafina.
Aquafina's hilarious. Yeah.
everything about this, I like this a lot. It did fall out of top 10, but that's just because when the competition's so good up here.
There you go.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun for me because it was one of those movies that it's an origin story, but it brings a new element of a new setting, basically. I'm big on those. I liked this movie a lot. I liked Black Panther a lot.
Well, this was our first post Endgame origin story.
The other thing
So
is
they're
that,
almost starting fresh again.
right, and to Mick's point, the whole part about like circumstances under which it was seen, like Ian and I got to see this at the drive-thru, and you were there too, and it was great.
Nice.
And it was just like, oh yeah, we're in the COVID times, but we're seeing movies, even though all the theaters are closed.
Everything's
the drive-in
normal.
is still open.
Because
But anyway, yeah. So there's a nostalgic connection there too, for sure. But yeah, I think it was just a genuinely cool movie.
Yeah.
I like that the sky beam this time was a dragon.
Yeah, all the like mystical creatures were so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the weird guy with all the wings and the no face and the feet.
which
Yeah.
is its face.
It's actually I research a lot of East Asian mythology, so seeing them all in that parallel dimension was amazing. Like the Morris and like that race of things, they're actually like evil creatures. They're considered the four perils.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which are like
Morris
the
is an
counters of the four guardians, which are like the blue dragon, red phoenix, and so on. But like, yeah, that thing's supposed to be kind of a mischievous evil thing.
It was mischievous.
And it's a friend.
It definitely was mischievous.
I don't love how quickly the bad guys were just like, oh yeah, you're right, we should stop that now.
Well, they literally watch them
Like
They didn't have.
eat the soul of one of their strongest fighters.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't love.
They did it for comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't love a group fighting and be like, oh,
We
okay,
should work
Yeah.
together.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. I still really
there
enjoyed it.
will be a chosen one.
I did like the Lovecraftian evil
Oh,
dragon
yeah.
too. That was pretty sweet.
And I love the fact that he was able to just flat out steal the rings from his dad.
Yeah.
Like he's like, "What I'm gonna hit you with?" He's like, "These are mine. I have
Like,
5. You have 5."
Yeah. You were always
Yeah.
wondering if I was strong enough to take them. Yup.
Like, the father-son friction of that movie was very good.
Yeah.
And I'll bring it back to Sir Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it's-
When he showed up, I was like,
he's there. The best part of Iron Man 3.
Yep. And it's like, and he's like, he's sober now,
Mhm.
but sort of still.
He's still wonky.
It's like Trevor's still clearly Trevor.
This is good.
This is the part is like, oh, you can see Morris too. Oh gosh. Oh Christ, good.
Let's see.
I'm not hallucinating.
Also, something outside of the movie that probably has affected my perception of it too much was the bus driver review of it on Twitter.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, a
Like
San
the beat for
Francisco
beat,
bus
like-
driver.
Yeah.
was like, let me tell you about this fight.
Okay, I already told you hear this fast.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so good. The analysis, the breakdown.
I like the fact that the Aquafina friendship was kept strictly as a friendship.
Yes.
Yeah, the closest we
Yeah.
get is her grandmother saying, when you gonna get married? Because
Mm.
that's what all grandmothers do.
"Well, weren't they? They were dating at the end."
No.
They're just
No.
chilling.
No.
There's just chilling.
Checking out. Yeah.
As friends.
Yeah.
Well, they
Well,
friends can hold hands.
she like links her arm around his at one point.
Okay,
when they're
maybe-
walking around, but that's it.
No, at the end when they were recounting the story in the bar, and then then Wong shows up.
Oh, maybe they do.
I don't
Maybe.
I still.
Yeah,
I
It
just
wasn't
don't
an important. It wasn't a big thing where they're like, "Well, are they gonna do it?" It wasn't an important part of it.
Yeah.
So
They wrote that for you.
I guess.
know.
All right.
All right, so that's
Alright.
number 8.
That was number 8.
Numero 7.
Lucky 7.
Seven.
This is gonna be Homecoming.
It is.
It is Homecoming.
It is Homecoming.
You would know you made the graphic.
I don't remember.
I
I do
appreciate,
remember the top 5.
similar to Black Panther, I appreciate, even though I was the one who ranked this lowest
Hmm.
of our batch, like, I appreciate that it's an origin story, but they skipped the origin. He's already Spider-Man.
Yep.
He's already, because he was already in Civil War at this point.
Yep.
They're just like, we know who Peter Parker is. We know Spider, Bite, Spider-Man. Yeah, we
Yeah.
get it. Uncle's dead. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Let's just move on to high school after the blip. No, it's
Spider-Man.
not. No, it's
This is
that's
pretty
pre-blip.
lit. This is
Pre-blip.
pre-blip,
But yeah, just like high school, Peter Parker, he's a nerd.
He's a kid. Yeah.
He's a
Spider-Man
kid
was-
and he's a nerd.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
so the
Spider-Man-
last Spider-Man's got to be your number 1, right?
Hmm?
If
Ra-
this is your number
Ragnarok
two-
hasn't
If this, is,
come up
if this
yet.
is your number 2, I'm theorizing.
Spider-Man is hands down my favorite. I, like Ark said earlier, I'm not a huge fan of the Tony Stark is like
He
still
made
gets like
it.
these sub movies through the Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
$30 million to come be in a movie for 10 minutes. Okay.
But I still think Tom Holland is an amazing Spider-Man. This movie,
Garfield was an amazing Spider-Man.
I only watched the
Twice.
first one.
No, you're amazing.
but this one more than any other movie that's has featured a live-action Spider-Man has had the dichotomy of Peter Parker's life versus Spider-Man.
Yep.
And that was always what hooked me into the Spider-Man series originally.
My absolute favorite scene from this movie is the car ride with,
Yes.
with the dad
Yeah.
to the prom.
Yes.
And
Oh, Michael Keaton
Michael Keaton
killed it.
He's such a good villain.
Yeah.
such a good
He
villain.
might be the best villain.
I love what they did with
Maybe.
Vulture. Like, I had to look up
Ooh,
what
that'd be
Vulture's
interesting.
deal was like in the comics, and I was
A
like,
guy who's green.
yeah, like, oh, that's the
He
Vulture.
literally just wears
Oh.
like, it looks like he's just wearing a vulture costume.
Yeah.
And somehow that makes him
Cosplay.
fly.
Instead, no, we have a guy who's made out of knives and jet engines.
Yeah.
And like,
He's
hell
like Morty. That's why you're into it.
yeah.
He's like Ray Kroc plus Scar Morty.
Yeah.
Spider-Man and
Ha!
Batman.
He was like Roy Kroc, wasn't he?
Hey.
Hey.
Spider-Man and Batman have some of the best rogue galleries in comics history.
Agreed.
But
There are we.
they again, Marvel is again like taking the C list and making them incredible.
Yeah.
Like I've never liked the Vulture. I know like Sam Raimi really wanted to do the Vulture in like one of his Spider-Man movies. I've always thought he's a terrible character, but like
He's so silly.
I was like, this
This
is
Vulture's
fucking
great.
incredible. That
Yeah,
last
Vulture's
fight
awesome.
on the plane,
Oh yeah.
like I was terrified, like those knife wings coming at you. Yeah.
And on the
They didn't
beach
even-
where he's just beating the crap out of him.
Yeah, and then in Mysterio too, they also made who I've also never really liked, but they made him incredible. Like, I don't know, like Marvel at this movie at this point kind of proved that they could pull off anything for me, and I
This
was
was
probably
Sony.
into it.
Well, it was Marvel.
No.
Marvel produced.
Marvel took the reins on this one, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, Marvel produced it.
that was like
Also-
one of their agreement ones where Sony was like,
They've
okay,
all been
we'll let you
agreement
do
ones
that
since we
thing.
came in Civil War.
Yeah,
I do like how we're also getting more Happy Hogan. We get more Happy Hogan than we get Tony Stark, which is a good balance.
yeah.
We're not happy for Tony.
All right, so what's number 6? What's
Talk
not
about
in the top
Rogue
5?
Yeah,
We
we're
have,
almost at our
not,
top
we have
five.
not talked about either of the Guardians movies.
Correct.
We have not talked about Thor Ragnarok.
Correct.
Yep.
We have not talked about
The remain. So wait.
the
so,
remaining Cap movies.
No, so it's two Cat movies.
Which
the
is Civil
Guardians.
War and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, Civil
So
War.
who's left?
and
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. What's the
Yeah.
last one?
The No Way Home.
Oh,
No
yeah,
Way
that's
Home. No Way
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So which one's number 6?
I'm gonna guess No Way Home because it's too new.
Same guess. Yeah.
I'm gonna guess Guardians 2 because y'all don't know what's up.
Not rude.
All right. Number
Let's
6.
see.
Civil War.
All right.
Okay.
Best Avengers movie.
Best of it.
It's a Captain America movie.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the only reason why it's not an Avengers movie.
I think Aaron made the
because
same comment
Thor
today.
And Hulk aren't in it.
So one thing I have against this movie is when you look at the matchup between the sides of the Avengers against each other,
It's pretty good.
it should be so fucking one-sided. You got like 3 humans on one side, and then like fucking 2 Iron Man Vision on the other side. You
3
should not.
robots.
They should just be standing there lasering you all to death.
Yeah.
And that's like nothing else is happening.
Yeah.
But
The
they
one
don't-
person
that's
who
why
might
they-
survive is Captain for a
'Cause
little
he's got
while
a shield.
until they flank him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot, and this poster doesn't even have all of the people on it. Like
Nope.
Spider-Man's not on it, Ant-Man's not on it.
Yeah.
Like the roster didn't dive all the way deep in because I wanted to save some stuff.
Mm.
And I mean, I appreciate how they brought in every character into it.
Mm.
4 humans.
Yeah, Cap.
It's Cap, Winter Soldier, who are both just super soldiers. They're
They're
Yeah,
stronger
he-
than other
humans.
characters,
And,
but
Hawkeye.
he can shrink.
Yeah.
But then there's Hawkeye and Black. Oh no, Black
Black
Widow.
Panther's on the other side.
but Black Widow's
Black
on
Widow's
the
on
other
the
side.
other side.
Okay, so I guess 3.
Falcon is on.
Yeah,
Falcon
Falcon
with
who
wings.
Which is
just-
also
Dude with robots.
not
They're-
even, not
they're-
even a super soldier.
They're a leveled up Captain Falcon on the other side.
Yeah, because Captain Falcon, he can just fly. Captain Falcon.
He feels.
He can fly
Can he wings?
with Mac 10s.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
They have
The
War Machine has that in one hand alone.
matchup is not that fair.
It's not
Yeah.
fair.
And
That
at
being
some point-
said, Steve Rogers was right. Let's move on.
Yeah, like this.
I think we can all agree that Steve Rogers was right. Yep.
Yeah, this was.
Did it.
Well, like my only thing is like, and
Oh,
I appreciate the bait and switch at the end. Like the
Yes.
actual villain subplot
Mm.
was no, I need to destroy the Avengers and I'm gonna kill all these. I don't give like these guys are bait. Like the Russian super soldiers, he just kills them off screen.
I was watching another group that does top 5 lists, and it was top 5 MCU deaths, and one of their top 5 was the super soldiers. Because they all died off screen, just gunshots to the head.
Yeah, it's
in their
wait,
tanks.
Yeah. They have flashbacks and the Winter Soldier's like, they're serious business.
We're real bad. It's gonna be tough.
They're tougher
It's
than me.
gonna suck. And then it's just the 3-way fight and like
Then just basically
Just
reading
watching.
someone's diary entry and being like, he fucking, what do you think of this guy? Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so
So-
top 5.
Top
Top 5. All right.
All right.
Where
Okay.
are we
So
starting?
we still got a
I think
You
Guardians
got 2 Guardians. You got
one cap.
Cap, Ragnarok, and Far From Home.
Yep.
No,
No
wait.
way home.
No way home.
I hate their naming scheme.
It's bad. It is bad.
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. Lock it in.
I'm gonna say volume
Yep.
2.
You think Volume 2 is lower than Volume 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Because of my volume.
It is not.
Guardians 1.
The Guardians won.
You were all wrong.
See, my thing
Guardians
with the Guardians is I rank them very like they're almost a movie together.
Hard to
for me.
separate.
Like they're very hard to separate. I rank them right next to each other.
I don't want to give a spoiler for what my number 1 is, but I start my entire ranking by taking the Guardians movies and then
And
everything
then building off of there.
Somehow I think we figured out what your number one is.
Like
I love the Guardians movies.
Yeah.
When the first one came out, I was in love immediately. Like, it is
Mm.
awesome.
it is great.
They took complete nobodies and made them into
These weren't even C list.
these were like
Good D.
Yeah,
minus.
D-list
Yeah.
characters, and they just made them. They're like this is the only origin story where everything is show don't tell. They don't give you any exposition. They just show the characters
Mhm.
interacting with their spaces. You get a little bit of like
You get some Peter. You get
a little bit of Peter, you get a little bit of Rocket, but by and large it's just like here are these fully developed characters interacting with the world, and I think it's awesome that they went and did that. Like I think the reason that the new Suicide Squad is so much better than the old Suicide Squad is because they let James Gunn do the same thing.
Yeah.
And you don't have to tell the audience what's going on. You can just show them.
Yeah.
And Rocket is my favorite character in the canon, so that's not a surprise to anybody.
That's
given-
Rocket is
I
pretty
think
amazing.
I think the gap from like so when you're like, oh, Captain America movie's coming out, you expect it to be pretty good.
Yeah.
The gap from expectation to reality on Guardians
So
in
wide.
particular, huge.
Yeah.
So goddamn good.
None of us expected it to be funny until
So,
that first trailer came out, and we were all just like, "Oh, now I'm interested."
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is like when you see Eternals, I'm really interested to know like what your thoughts are on it, because it's really interesting to compare and contrast these, because they're both just kind of groups of like characters that people who haven't been all in on the comics wouldn't know.
Mm.
And I feel like
Losers.
Guardians was incredibly successful in that, and one of the reasons why is like, yeah, when I first saw the first trailer, I'm like, I'm in. I've seen many trailers for the Eternals, and I was like, I don't know, man. And then I watched the movie, and
I'll
I'm
watch
like,
it because it's MCU.
also, still, I can't get there. I want to.
Matt mentions also the soundtrack. This was
Oh,
the,
yeah,
this,
that's-
this was the
yeah.
first. The needle drops are
Yeah,
great. It's his specific words.
That's
Yeah.
that's absolutely correct.
Like
That's
that's
fair.
it's you know this was the first MCU movie that used a soundtrack as a narrative device.
Arguably, Iron Man 2 did. It was just all ACDC.
Yeah.
Interesting
Which I
fun
like
fact,
ACDC.
There was
but
no ACDC greatest hits compilation until the Iron Man 2 soundtrack.
it's true. They didn't. They were just like just buy Back in Black and For Those About to Rock.
Mm.
There's our greatest hits.
This movie is, I think, one of the best examples. Like, there are 3 types of musical music used in films.
Yeah.
There's like musical where the songs tell the story, how the characters sing it themselves.
Classic Disney
There's
stuff.
orchestral, like Star Wars or anything
Background,
John
yeah.
Williams does,
Mhm.
and then this is like the
The hybrid.
DJ mixtape sort of thing.
Yep.
And I think this is like probably the best realization of that.
Well, and the fact that they even used a mixtape and a
A
Walkman.
literal,
Literal.
literally.
It's just like, yeah, anytime that you hear music, you know that Peter's listening to it.
Yeah. Or he's imagining it while he's fighting.
Like, it's actually all happening. Like, yeah, the Pina Colada song when he's flying
Yeah.
outside, and it's like,
Yeah, and I think another advantage that this had is that, like, I think the Peter Pooh character is probably about like our collective age.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
like he
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
he
something
had a
weird.
Walkman and cassette player, but he had that when he was little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
we all,
yeah,
we
we
all
had,
remember having a Walkman cassette player.
yeah, we had CD players when we were in high school, but he was pre-high school when he got
Yeah.
that. So like,
Yeah.
there's a connection there too. I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's also a story about misfits and the family you find versus
Family
the
you
family you're
choose,
born
yeah.
with.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's a complete fuck up, but they still like make it work.
And now we're all standing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've
Bunch of
seen
idiots.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I want to point out before we move to number 4.
Okay.
What's our total score here?
Total score is 31, so we're still pretty
Yeah. So what's our total score for number 4?
6.
No.
That can't be.
This is the beginning of our ties.
That is.
Oh,
that is
3-4 is tied.
Yeah.
4.
Ooh. So okay. So this is good.
Oh, 4, 5 is
Guardians
tied.
2 has got to be number 4 then. It's got to be
This is going to be the first number 1 appearance. Here it is.
Guardians.
Yeah.
And it is our first number 1.
Okay.
Nick voted number 1.
I voted for
Ryan.
I love this even more than Guardians 1.
It's really good.
This is the only Marvel movie that I ever cried at.
Oh.
I was gonna say before we switched off with the
Oh,
last
sorry.
one, there are 2 places that I cry in the first movie.
Wow.
Where this one I only cry at 1 place.
All right. So
That was one of my big.
I got no.
So I think I personally voted this one. No, I did vote this one above. My only problem with it is I think the core story isn't as good. Like the Peter Quill arc, you know, the central one we follow through the 2 Guardians movies, isn't as good. But it's everybody else's stories. They all just have such great development in this movie.
Yeah,
Go
if the
for it.
Empire Strikes Back.
Gamora picking up a ship gun.
And using that the gun down or something.
And just venting. She's not even actually trying to kill her.
Yeah, she's just screaming and pointing it in her general direction. Yeah, your sibling rivalry has never been that bad. I can guarantee it.
Oh yeah, and they, like immediately after, it's like you're the one who always had to win, and like you flew halfway across the galaxy to kill me.
Yeah,
I love this movie.
It's
I
really
can't, I
good.
can't say enough good things about it. Like the humor is, I think, better than the first one. One of the very underrated lines is when Drax says, "Actually, they're called hardware batteries."
I'm just gonna bring up hard.
Which
Drax
is
is
just
an
like
absolute gem.
Yeah,
Drax-
it's a gift.
Yeah,
He really is.
he's a gift.
He really is.
But what gets this movie for me is, I mean, obviously the end where they have the, you know, my son, I know I've gone away, and it's the
scavenger
Ravager funeral.
So
But even more than that for me is like Yondu yelling at Rocket, being like, "You steal batteries you don't need, and you push away everybody you love, and I know that because you're me."
yeah,
And then we immediately have a needle drop of them killing
Everybody.
everybody in the ship. And I
yeah,
was like, oh yeah, these characters are not good guys.
yeah.
They are very
They are.
renegade.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are horrible, bad.
They're
people.
chaotic neutral at best.
Yondu
So-
coming in clutch.
Yondu
Yeah.
coming
Yes.
in clutch.
Michael Rooker, amazing job in
good.
this movie.
Yeah.
The
Kurt
Yondu
Russell
hero scene, very
was good.
He was good.
Smoothness aside.
Yeah, yeah. The smooth,
short time.
yeah.
I-
They cut it short. It was good.
Smooth moments.
But yeah, it almost looks like they just put it over his beard.
Yeah.
I love how fast.
There's like he's Kurt Russell has always had a strong, manly chin, but not that much.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
yeah,
incredible. I really like it. Top 5 for me. Number 1 for Nick.
Number 1.
See, the first one is like top 3. Like I rank it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
rank,
you're 3.
it's my number
Yours.
3.
Yeah.
I rank it the first one.
Oh shit,
like,
your number 1 is Winter Soldier. That's
Spoilers.
I mean, we already knew what Mick's number 1 was. What was I gonna say? Oh, the first one I rank like for me that's like a Star Wars original trilogy level movie.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
like it makes it like it's a good space opera.
Mm.
Like if I don't feel like watching a literal Star Wars movie, Guardians is the next thing.
Yep.
This one is not as much because it's got a lot more dead time in the middle of it in Act 2.
A bit, yeah.
I think Guardians 1 and 2 are better than most of the Star Wars sequels, except Last Jedi.
Better than most of the Star Wars movies.
We don't have to talk about
We
that.
gotta have to.
That's a tough call.
There are opinions at this table about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People
All
like
right.
Star Wars here.
I got a shelf dedicated to just my Star Wars DVDs.
What's number 3?
Top three.
What do we think
Big
number
three.
3 is?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man?
No Way Home. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Spider-Man.
I think so.
Would be my guess. And
It
it is.
I will admit it probably gets a little bit of recency bias, but even aside from that, it's so good.
This one, I think, is one of our I think this one is the first one on our list where we have all voted single digits.
I think you might
Yeah,
be
you
right.
might be right. Yeah.
Like, because there's been an outlier here.
Tom
and there.
Holland's Spider-Man is out here to find all the curmudgeon assholes and turn them into dads. And I appreciate that about him.
I love one of the things that I loved about this is I saw the first three Sam. I saw
Oh my god!
I saw the Sam Raimi movies and I saw the first Amazing Spider-Man. I didn't see the second Garfield movie. So that was.
I like that you
completely-
referred to one by director and the other one by actor.
Yes. Tobey Maguire's fine.
He's fine.
He's great.
He rode a moped. And
I like
moped
Tobey.
would drive. It's
He's,
great.
he's a good Peter.
Okay.
I don't know if he's a great Spider-Man.
So
He's a good
I've heard it said Toby's the best Peter.
Yep.
Garfield's the best Spider-Man. Tom Holland's the best package.
I would agree.
He's a good boy.
He has a good package.
I watched the first
Whoa.
Spider-Man 7 times, and for a long time that was my record.
Which first?
Oh, in a theater?
The Toby one
In theater?
in theater.
Yeah.
That for a long time that was like the undefeated champion.
That's a lot.
It helped because I was working in a movie theater, so I could
Yeah.
go see them for free.
But
Yeah,
it's
well-
a time cost.
But that wasn't ousted until probably Scott Pilgrim, and then the Avengers after that. This one, if there weren't a pandemic, I probably would have seen a lot more.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
well-
did like Toby as a
I like.
Spider-Man.
We actually went out to a theater
We
to see
did.
it. That was a big deal. We were like, okay, we're going to buy a N95 mask. We're going to go to the showing that nobody goes to. And we're
in the small theater,
Yeah.
not the IMAX.
yeah. Yeah, we took very special precautions to go to the movies for this one film. And I think,
The only other thing we've done that for is Dune, and I've been riding that sandworm since
Yeah.
childhood.
hey!
We tried to buy out the theater for Dune, but then 2 randos showed up and sat like 10 rows behind us. We're like, this is fine. Or no, it wasn't Dune. It was Tenet that we tried to do that for.
Yeah.
But yeah, this I love that they did Enter the Spider-Verse without doing Enter the Spider-Verse, because that was my big worry. It's like, okay, they're getting all these great villains, they're getting all 3 Spider-Men back, they're getting them together, it's gonna be great, but like, don't be Enter the Spider-Verse, because that's its own thing. It's already great. It's up there on my top 5 favorite movies, but it's not an MCU movie, so it's not on this list.
I would put Into the Spider-Verse at number 3
Behind the Guardians.
behind the Guardians.
Yeah.
I my one major like in this it's nitpicking. Like my one nitpick about this movie is like Spider-Man has a gallery of foes, very specifically called the Sinister Six, and you're gonna give us 5 fucking villains? What are you doing? What are you doing?
That was definitely an
to go with 5 movies.
Yeah.
That's specifically what they did. They pulled 1 from each film,
Yeah.
which does mean that there are some villains that get sidelined.
They could have put Paul
like,
Giamatti in there.
yeah, they
Except maybe it was
Well,
implied
they-
that Garfield killed him.
but like Croc kind of gets sidelined.
Croc. I mean
Lizard.
the lizard?
Lizard.
Killer Croc is
Lizard.
Suicide Squad.
Same damn thing.
Nope.
No, they're not the
Whatever.
same.
One's a
Lizard,
scientist.
Lizard
Roy
Man. Get,
Croc wasn't in this
Lizard,
one.
Lizard, Ray Kroc was not in this one. He's in prison
Right.
for a later movie.
But what about Vulture? Vulture's not in it.
Well, no, well, that's
Ray
what I'm
Kroc.
saying.
Because he's in universe.
Yeah, he's
He didn't have to get
he'll be back for a later movie.
I
They
thought he-
tease that.
I think he died, didn't he?
No, he's in
No,
prison.
He's in prison.
No, I thought he
He's
died.
in prison and he met
The Scorpion.
Scorpion guy.
Because he's got a tattoo on his neck.
But yeah, like they brought back all the villains that I wanted them to bring back.
Well, Venom was in it, so that's their 6th.
Yeah. He was in a bar somewhere.
A canned needle.
My favorite part of this movie is how all these people had to write articles about how Venom 2 changed the MCU forever.
And then they
And then-
warped him out.
And then Spider-Man Far From Home really said, nah.
I don't want that version of Venom in the MCU.
I don't know if they're ever really gonna.
I
hope they don't.
It's fine on
Give
its
me
own.
Agent Venom.
I'd be more happy.
They're going to give you Agent Venom.
I think that'd be cool.
But this is, they gave us all, they did a good treatment with all the villains. The 3 Spider-Men together, like, we got, like, I love that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is the old.
He's just an
Everything,
old dude.
everything has happened to me and it's awful.
I've seen it all.
But
whatever.
I've lived through it and you can too, Spider-Man.
Spider-Dad.
Yeah, totally Spider-Man. And, like, Garfield Spider-Man is like this fragile, I think I did everything right, but someone needs to tell me that I did.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. And then both Tom Holland and Toby do. And they're like, no, you're good, man.
I think
Like, and
Andrew,
he saves MJ and he's like, holy shit, I did it, guys. And they're like,
I think Andrew Garfield, out of the 3, in this movie, I think was the best actor.
I agree.
I would agree with that.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
He was
this
the
is-
shining star.
This because they send Tom Holland's Spider-Man into a weird place
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
purpose so
I
they
think-
can get out of it.
It's ironic though
Yeah.
because like his
No,
movies
so he
are
can
the
set up a new
worst.
movie.
His movies are the worst.
But he does the best job in this one. So,
He was good in that.
and
The problem was the movies are bad around
yeah,
him.
because Sony.
Yeah.
That's why I don't think Sony did the other Spider-Man movies in the MCU.
All right.
I-
So what's
I-
our total score here?
Our total
Oh.
score is 27.
So last 2 are Winter Soldier and
Thor Ragnarok.
Winter Soldier and Ragnarok.
This is-
Now,
this is-
now, so here's the question:
Mm.
Is the tie here at 3-2, or is the tie at 2-1?
Oh, I thought you already said it was at 2-1.
Well, I told you guys that on the stream.
Oh.
I only
Weird.
No.
so
I could be lying. I'm known to be a trickster.
I'm guessing that you two picked the same number 1. I'm guessing. So I would say that this is probably Ragnarok.
I
It's number
don't-
1.
I
so
don't-
this is probably Winter Soldier.
I don't know why you would think that we would share views on movies.
Yeah, we never did. We clearly never do from this whole episode. Different people.
10 times.
Not just a couple
Sean ran the numbers and we matched movies point for point 10 times.
No, matched point for point 6 times,
6
and
times.
we're 1 away 4 more times.
I'm really
So-
embarrassed, but also I understand.
That's
Yeah.
fine. It's a thing.
I mean, that's why you've been together for so many
Alright.
years.
We agree on Marvel
Alright.
movies. And that's the benchmark.
Here it is. It is. I see. I don't remember because I know that there was a tie,
Mhm.
but I don't. You didn't tell us how you broke the tie, so I don't
I
know.
did tell you how. Well,
I don't know.
I'll
I don't
explain it.
know.
I'll explain it.
No, I'm like I don't know how it shook out. I know how you broke.
Just
it. I don't
click the thing!
know. No, it's called suspense. Damn it!
Yeah, this is number 2!
It's Thor.
Oh, wow.
Ragnarok?
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
No, the first one.
The first one?
The first one is the first one is so good. It is both at the bottom.
What a
and-
troll that would be.
So, I have come to understand that Taika Waititi is a boss. I probably should have known this before, but yeah, Ragnarok's great.
He's real good.
It's real good.
He's real good.
Real good.
This made me want to see more stuff by Taika Waititi.
Same.
Yeah.
We watch What We Do in the Shadows because
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now let me borrow it. It's
This was the first time that I really liked Thor. Like he was fine otherwise, but Thor, like I really liked him as a character.
Mhm.
Super funny. Do you want to do help me or
Yeah.
get help? I want to do get help. I don't want to do get help. We're doing get help.
It's
apparently that's a
embarrassing.
Chris
I'm not doing
Hemsworth idea.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, so, like, based on that, it sounds like he had a lot of ideas that just didn't get to really get aired.
And Taika Waititi just
And-
was
Well,
like,
he was
"Do
like,
it."
let
like
him.
a boss.
Yeah.
It's really nice that they made another Guardians movie.
It very much is. It's like the same color palette. It's
There's a
It's in space.
spaceship
They're like,
raid
we
at
could
the
do that
end,
again.
Yeah.
Space chase, yeah.
We
It's
got
the same color palette, but there's yellow and orange.
There's more
Those are
yellow.
added.
I mean,
love
well,
how
because they
colorful
got
it
the
is.
Hulk. They had to
Yeah.
to balance out the
Put the
green
green
end of
in
the
there.
spectrum. of
It's
it.
a friend from work.
I really like where someone's like, Loki turned himself into a snake because he knows I love snakes. I picked it up and he turned back into Loki and stabbed me.
Just like
That's
right across
hilarious.
the snake. It's so
They're
good.
like, ha, it's me. It's... No.
Ah!
And then he stabbed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah,
it's so
Loki,
good.
like they built on the Loki from Thor 2 and just furthered his character development.
Yeah.
Like,
And finally made him
but
officially.
on top of that,
yeah.
On top of that, they let Thor be a character for the first time ever, and that
I do really enjoy like the first 10 minutes. I'm like, is that Matt Damon?
The fight scene is so amazing.
Yeah.
And I think one of his brothers, like
One of
plays
the
him.
elder Hemsworth brother
Yeah.
is Thor in the play.
Yeah.
And Thor just like
Sam-
walks in and is like, get the fuck over here, Loki. What are you doing?
Sam Neill is Odin
Yep.
from Jurassic Park. And like this is Tropic Thunder talking, but I love watching Anthony Hopkins play
Loki.
play Loki, play an actor pretending to be a character, pretending to be another character.
Yeah.
And
Oh, shit.
and the bastard pulls it off because
Yeah.
he's Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. While eating grapes.
Yeah.
Just really good from start to finish. I like all the new characters they introduced. Valkyrie's a badass.
Yep. Thor, like the Hulk, got some good time.
Yeah.
Sexual
They got some-
development.
yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't just like, oh, I can't have kids.
we keep quoting the like, oh, I don't want to fight your sister. Like, that's a family thing.
That's you.
And I don't want to be like, I don't want to objectify her too much, but Kate Blanchett looks phenomenal for
She
her
does.
age.
She
Yeah,
does.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I have a crush on her.
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
She is an objectively beautiful woman.
She can step on me.
Yeah, that hell is great.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And
that's-
Jeff Goldblum,
So true.
amazing.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
Oh,
back, baby.
At the very end, it's just like, and it takes two groups of people to have a revolution, and you've played your part wonderfully. So well done.
Yeah. Delightful scumbag.
she is the starts with B.
Trash. That doesn't even start with B. Were you just waiting to say that?
Opal is the underutilized.
Or Topaz.
Topaz.
Topaz
Yeah,
is the
absolutely.
underutilized character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, Korg.
Korg.
Yeah.
Krug or Korg?
Korg.
Korg, yeah.
I think we're blessed that Taika Waititi decided to give himself an OC in this movie.
Yeah.
I think that was a favor to humanity.
That was a trailer for Endgame where he played Fortnite.
I still love the fact that he says it's like, oh yeah, I tried to start a revolution, but I didn't print enough pamphlets. People who shut up with my mom and her boyfriend, who I hate. I'm still thinking like that's because her boyfriend was like the guy that he was trying to overthrow.
This is a joke. You like that?
What a blessing.
That's so good.
All right. So
we
our rankings here are 1, 1, 4, 6, 7.
Yep.
Interesting that you both picked the same number one. That's strange.
So let's
Weird.
no suspense for the final one. We know
Yeah,
what it is.
We know what
Yeah.
it is. It is Winter
But
Soldier.
this one is 1, 1, 3, 6, 8. So that's how this broke the tie with a top 3 instead of a top 4.
Yep. This is.
Look at the shield.
It is a movie that Captain America is.
100%.
You
Yeah.
still put
I
it in
can't
your
argue
top-
with that.
You still put it in your top 10.
But yeah.
But like
Barely, but yeah.
we get a great introduction as Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see Cap like have his patriotism and his like devotion to the man
Yep.
like just like ripped away, like not even questioned. It's just like, oh, like he questions it for like the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then he stops
He's
questioning
like,
it.
that ain't freedom. That's fear.
Yeah.
This is
You're
the
right.
best Black Widow movie.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Black Widow
You're right.
movie. Yeah.
You're right.
I think you said Black William. I'm like, who's
Did I? I
that?
might have said that.
Will,
by
Will,
Black
Will
Widow.
Smith is not in this book.
Is that it?
Could also be Will.
It could be Will I Am.
Oh man,
See,
I'm
yes,
secretly super racist.
A lot of people have
I
said
have
that this is just a good like thriller spy movie
it is.
Yeah.
that also happens to be an MCU movie.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of true.
Yeah. No,
I mean,
they're-
Captain America still does take down a jet with a shield and a motorcycle.
Sometimes you
so-
gotta.
But that's the thing.
I'm
There,
still superhero.
there are only 2 superheroes in this movie. It's just Cap and
And Winter
Soldier.
Mm.
So everything else, like if you were,
A bunch of dudes.
if you were to just make this an action movie, like a Bourne movie, You know, it's just Matt Damon instead of Chris Evans. Yeah, it's the same shit.
They do less superhero shit in this movie than in Hobbs and Shaw, which is Fast and Furious. I just want to point that out.
This one has a little less family.
Yeah.
Well, Hobbs and Shaw is no family.
Captain
that's not about
America,
family.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Actually, no, it is about family. It's about the Rock's family.
Yeah. They're all about family. I think I put this at number 8 because like it's like, am I interpreting this as Cap trying to get his boyfriend back? Which yeah, or how am I allowed to interpret this? There's a little ambiguity there, and I couldn't quite
Look,
put
men were very close to each other in the 40s. It is just a
It
fact.
was war.
We get to the end.
The end of the line.
Yep. It's just good.
It's good.
It's
Very
just a good movie, and like
every time. Yeah, I think I brought this up before, but like every time Bucky comes on screen in this movie,
right.
there's an orchestral sound of some kind that starts at the same exact note as the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, it sounds like a scream too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and it's just like I always think it's gonna be a Wilhelm scream. So just like he comes up on screen, and it's like.
Someone got kicked off a bridge.
yeah, even when he's like at the museum at the end, like looking at the Steve Rogers stuff and like remembering his life.
Yeah.
Yeah, then there's like that. Yeah. Kind of freaky.
It was good. It's my second favorite Captain America story.
Yep.
That's your first favorite.
I really liked Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier was.
Yeah.
I don't
I
have like strong opinions against like the series things like the episodic TV shows. I think that Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a fantastic like 7-hour movie.
Yeah. It's the most movie-like of all the shows they've done. So
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
Even more than Hawkeye. Like Hawkeye is episodic enough to me, even though it follows the same format.
Yeah, those two felt the most similar. Whereas like WandaVision and Loki are just like crazy on their own.
Yeah, they're their own.
Yeah.
Their own
Wow.
things.
Loki's. I said, wow.
He doesn't say that.
He doesn't actually say it in most things.
Yeah.
It's really just like the Shanghai movies. That's where he says "wow" the most. I think so.
Okay, there's got to be a supercut.
There
on
is.
YouTube.
Oh, there absolutely is.
Yep.
So yeah, good list.
Good
We did.
list. Look at that. I was
Honorable
gonna-
mentions: Captain Falcon, Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
The TV show.
Honorable mentions, the TV shows. Like, let's see. I ranked. I did put the.
Oh, you put the TV shows in?
No, just as a separate side list. So I voted bottom to top, 5-1. What If, Hawkeye,
Oh,
What if
WandaVision,
Hawkeye?
What if
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Loki. But the
Falcon
thing
was below one?
Spoilers.
No,
for
Falcon
future
was above
episode.
one.
Oh, okay.
Or no, yeah, Falcon was above Wanda. The catch is
And what
like,
was the
but
top
they're
one?
Loki.
Loki, okay.
But they're all pretty damn tight. Like, really, it's just the 4 and What If off over here being What If.
What? Or and you're waiting for new stuff to come out. So.
Yeah.
To knock What If onto
Captain
the-
Britain Carter is
Captain
great.
Carter.
I think that the thing is, it's just like it's so like you mentioned this earlier. It's so hit or miss.
The Delta, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because
just
the parts that are good are really good, and then there's
Yeah.
like the zombies episode, which is just like
And Party Thor is kind of
Fringe.
okay.
yeah. Party Thor's funny, but
There's
I'm not
the-
watching it again.
It's not
The
the
Deep
standard.
Crow cameo appeals to Ian and I.
The
The
what?
Penny Arcade.
Oh, the Deep Crow
yes,
cameo.
We like the
Yeah.
Deep Crow.
I,
So in a game that I used to play called Future Fight on the phone, they made Sharon Rogers a Captain America, and she had a shield and a lance.
Ooh,
She was super cool.
shield and a lance.
Yeah.
That's dope.
there's the manga series where Kara Danvers was Captain America.
What? Really?
She's already a cap.
She already, well, at the time she was still a miss. But
Well, still, but I mean, like now.
So before we end, should we just like reaffirm what everyone's favorites are? I mean, Captain America.
So we had
Oh,
Captain
oh.
America.
No,
We had. What? No.
No, yours was different.
Your number one's right there.
no, I mean like favorite hero.
Oh.
Just MCU hero.
Oh,
Rocket
oh,
Raccoon.
oh,
yeah, Rocket Raccoon is my favorite.
Cap.
Cap.
It's tight,
What are
but
you
You're
wearing?
wearing a
I All right.
Say Iron Man. I dare you to say Iron Man.
Let me preface this.
I come into your house and you say Iron Man.
Let me preface this. This is the only superhero shirt that I own. So, and being a Marvel episode, I had to wear it.
That's fair.
It's like next time, whenever we talk about Star Wars, you bet your ass it's a Star Wars shirt. But no, Cap is probably my number 2.
We don't get number 2s.
No, I know. My number
Not
one.
yet.
My number 1 is War Machine.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So it's not Iron Man.
Iron Patriot.
No. War Machine.
Iron Patriot with the president inside.
Which that was one of the many things that I loved about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It's such it's too similar a name to literally everything else. But yeah, they had James Rhodes show up and sort of give Sam advice, but only once. They're like,
They could have gone further.
This isn't his story, it's Sam's story.
Yeah.
So we gotta let him figure out how he wants to be Captain America because Rhodes is already a superhero.
Okay, so Art, what's your number 1?
Yeah.
Wong.
Wong?
Wong?
Wong's a good choice. Wong's good.
He just pit fights on the weekends.
And he's like friends with the Abomination.
Yeah,
because they fought each other so much.
He's very good.
And he is the
You're
Sorcerer's
flying your
Supreme.
punches. Alright.
Yeah, what about you?
Spider-Man.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
that's right. You
yeah,
said Spider-Man. Yep.
Who's your second favorite?
Cap.
Yeah.
Alright, who's your second favorite?
I thought we didn't get number 2.
Well,
Well, we already know you're Cap.
You spoiled it. So everyone gets it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Art, who's your number 2?
Come back to you. Okay, Art.
I'm gonna tuck in another deep cut. Oh, okay.
Probably Cap.
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 What about you, Mick?
Mine's Loki.
Loki? Okay.
Oh, Loki,
Loki's good. Gibby says Black Panther and Cap.
Oh, Black
Black
Panther.
Panther's so OP though. That's
So
another
good.
reason why I rank Black Panther
I think
lower.
it's gotta be Spider-Man.
He's one too big.
M'Baku.
Well, like
The
Black
M'Baku's number
Panther's it's ridiculous. Like in Civil War, he's standing on a building and someone in a helicopter is shooting a minigun at him,
Yeah,
and he doesn't even
standing there.
blink.
Doesn't care.
Like
And that's his.
too strong.
And that's his not
It's
upgraded.
vibranium. You don't gotta explain shit.
Yeah.
I know, but
But
It's made of pin particles.
It's too strong.
It's not even upgraded. Like literally in
Yeah,
his
that's
next
like a
movie, sure, he's like,
base.
you know how your old suit sucked, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, it doesn't.
Yeah, then he can absorb the power and discharge it in a bomb.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
So
And sure, he's like,
he's too strong.
I need to give you a new suit because this one has vaccines.
Good night, folks. Good night, folks.
Hey.
It's you know how easy it is to not be fired by the
Disney.
Disney Corporation.
Yeah.
It's real easy.
Really?
You play a scientist,
Yeah.
and you don't trust science.
It ain't gonna work for me, dog.
Okay.
So we good?
I
Yeah.
think we're.
Yeah.
Did it.
I think we
Right,
did it.
all the marbles.
It's a good list.
We like did it, and we did it in time, and oh my
Ish.
god,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, my goodness. But yeah, so that's just to recap. No,
That's
I'm
our
not, I'm not
27
doing
hit
all
list.
27.
Yeah.
27.
Yeah, you know what? I said I was gonna do that, and then I didn't.
You're a liar.
What are
I'm
you
a
gonna
What are you
liar.
doing?
Yeah.
I
You're just
am.
hitting buttons
I am
over here.
fixing a thing.
You're just doing the thing.
Oh,
I don't
Fixing
know.
the thing
Oh.
that I should have fixed way at the beginning.
Ah,
There we
yes.
go.
All right, thank you.
Can't say we didn't.
Can't say I didn't do it.
Yeah.
We have a producer.
I went to school for this shit, guys.
You did great.
Very proud.
Tells you how well I did, doesn't it?
Next time, hit the mute
It's
button.
been a little while.
Yeah,
It's not the first time. in a
next
week,
time,
it's
next
fine.
time I'm making you take a mic into the bathroom, and you'll just have to trust me.
I don't think that's good at all.
That's how you lost your Twitch channel.
Hey, did anyone watch that bathroom sounds channel?
All right.
Bet you someone-
Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody. In all honesty, thank you for watching. This was awesome for us. Like, we actually got
He's
to do a
fourth.
5-hit list in
He's
person for the first time
Mm-hmm.
in a very long time.
First
Have
time
you
ever.
ever done it in person?
Never done it in
Missed
person.
it.
Well, we've never done the show in person.
Oh, that's true. We've
But,
done
like,
we've done the activity in
We have
person.
done the activity in person, but we haven't done the activity since like.
Oh, we should have started while we were still eating.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the food. That is. Next
But
time.
Next time. We'll do a
We're learning.
ASMR
Next
mukbang.
Yep.
All right.
But yeah, thank you for watching. Come watch us on Monday when we play some D&D, and then Tuesday when we play more D&D.
Too much.
Until then, hope everybody has a nice night and a nice time. Goodbye.
Spider-Man, did you mute us?